All right, we are live, I believe. How do I get out of this background? I can't even see the chat. Oh, how do I see the chat?
It's okay.
Close.
We only got one person in here so far. We're good.
Oh, comments. There we go. Cool. Perfect. What's up, Jake? How are you? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I had a great day today.
We had a little bit of a detour, but we are here.
We are
We
here,
are
yeah.
here.
We were supposed to do five, but I realized that wasn't going to be possible. I was out in Fairfield
I knew.
to
I knew
the,
it. I knew.
yeah.
I knew we were gonna reschedule. I was like, oh, he's gonna
I
have too much
thought,
fun. Too much
yeah.
fun.
Well, yeah. I don't know about too much fun. I mean, it's always a good time with the guys. Like, don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
The card show was quite busier than the last time I went to this specific card show, which is funny because it was during a more bearish market the last time I went to this show.
Yeah.
And it's within a mall, and it's like an abandoned like Forever 21
Is it?
store, I
Is it at
think.
the Fairfield Mall?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, cool. That's
yeah,
hella cool. I
yeah.
used to I grew up going to that mall.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's where the Forever 21 used to be, I guess. It's it's massive.
it's
But
massive.
the first time I went, man, like there was a lot of just like empty tables and chairs where there was supposed to be vendors. Like it was kind of zombie like for a
Esque.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot going on there. And then this show, it was the opposite. I mean, we're in the most bullish market I've seen since I've been back in the hobby.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy prices. I didn't buy a lot. Like, what did I get today? This is fire.
Oh,
Card ass
oh my
Ivysaur,
gosh, bro.
30
Hell
bucks.
yeah.
I have the Squirtle set in a 9, and then what else? I got Omnite in a trade, PSA 10
Nice. Love that.
English,
Love that
and
card.
then I got two more. What did I? No, three more. King Gambit, 35 bucks in a 10. Come on now. And
Love that
then
card.
I did a swap, so I needed a better Raichu,
Uh-huh.
and there's a great vendor that was just like, hey, give me a couple bucks, I'll swap these out.
Oh,
So yeah, I got this one in the glow in the dark
yes.
graded card,
Yes.
but it matches Roaring Moon so perfectly. And
So fire.
this isn't a graded guard. This is a friend of mine who started his own little bumper guard business, and I'm
Nice.
just supporting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
that was
that's
it.
one of my top 5 cards in the whole SV era. That
Palday
Raichu,
evolved, man,
dude.
stacked.
Palja is
Speaking of Palday
crazy.
evolved, I got a Tyranitar.
Sleeping cute or
Dude, this
sitting
is the best
cutie.
purchase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Los Lecter. I
So,
bought this
bro,
from him.
like one thing that I've been searching for. If you find it at a card show, like hit me up. It's the plushie of like Tyranitar holding Pupitar as a baby.
And then no way.
Yeah.
Or
So they
Larvitar or
Oh,
Pupitar?
Larvitar. Sorry.
Okay.
It's called, I forget what they're called, but they did all evolutions. They did Dragonite with Dratini. They did like a bunch of them, but
I've never
on
seen those.
eBay they're like, I think they're like 150, 200.
The
Like it's
plushie
pretty
game is
steep.
strong, man.
But bro, I'm down. Like I was, dude.
I trust me, me too.
Yeah, I
I'm
told
looking
my
at mine right now.
yeah, I told my girl, I was like, we go to Japan. Like I need to find that plushie, and I didn't.
Bro,
But
you're gonna have to bring like an entirely extra suitcase
my
just for plushies.
dude, like this was like my favorite purchase in all Japan. It's
That's
like
sick.
a little vintage
Ampharos is so underrated.
vintage Ampharos. Still have the tag. It's like from
Let's
like
go.
19 no, I think it was like 2000. So I guess that's
Nice.
not
That's
really
still
vintage.
vintage.
Is
Yeah,
that
what do you
vintage?
mean?
Is that
Yeah,
vintage?
that's 25 years ago.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot, you're right. I thought I'm tripping.
Old man check right there.
Old man chick. But yeah. All right. So I do have some questions for you today, Jake.
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
I know we're gonna try to stay a little bit on topic today. But so should we just rifle it off the first one?
Yeah, I'm
So
guessing prismatic evolutions first.
kinda. Actually no. Actually no.
Oh, great. Oh
Because it's
gosh,
just
refreshing.
yeah, just like just a big old hair to just cross my screen, my TV. Boomer check, bro. Boomer check. Um,
Oh
yeah.
god.
So it has kind of something to do with prismatic. Obviously, it's all tied in together. But is so my question is to you: is the expensive cards, just the entire price of the entire market, is it good for the hobby in total? I think you're the guy to go to, man. You're
Yeah. Yes. So it depends on what we're talking about, right? If we're talking
Uh-huh.
about vintage being expensive, like we're talking about first Ed Zard, like I believe a shadowless PSA 10 Charizard just sold for $60,000 if I remember
Oh my
correctly.
gosh.
And we were just having a conversation about this over coffee this morning, and Quilly Drew mentioned that it's a lot harder to grade than the first edition. The sheets from the Shadowless were actually just poor quality,
Hmm.
so it's a lower pop card. It's justified in my opinion. It's a strong sale, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think that like at the end of the day, like some of the biggest grails in this hobby, we're talking like illustrators and stuff like that, like some of the rarest cards, they deserve to be worth that much in order to keep the hobby thriving, because there's always it gives people the chase, whether like you're someone that's just starting out like collecting illustration rares, but your goal is to have that someday, like that's what's going to keep you like
True.
locked
Yeah.
into this hobby, right? um, but then we think about it from the opposite perspective, where we have a brand new set, this one here,
Flex on him, Jake.
this hard
Flex on
one
him.
to get.
Flex on him.
uh Shout out
He's
to my buddy Hussein HD Collectibles.
he's got 50
He's
of those.
I know. I actually I sold a case. I sold the Pokemon Center case for
Fire.
1.2 on the day of.
Oh
It
yeah.
paid for all three of my cases. One of my
Perfect.
cases didn't show up. So I'm in a weird situation right now. I gotta actually reach out to the Pokemon Center because
FedEx?
FedEx, yeah, dude, it says
Classic.
label
Classic.
created, but it's never been like received by FedEx.
Classic.
So I think Tuesday is like that 14-day business day where I can reach
Mm,
out and say, hopefully they have more. I think that the Pokemon Company expects for products or shipments to get damaged or lost in the mail, and they have to have additional product to. I just hope they
mm,
don't. I really want the product. I don't want them to give me
yeah.
a refund, because that's $1,200 that I could be sitting on.
Yeah.
But I still have a case. I kept that in the closet. But yeah, but getting back to this set, and like it being extremely expensive. We're talking about obviously the Sunbreon, which I can't stand because it is a moon. It is not a sun, and it's all the Timmies just running along with it because they want something new from the Moonbreon because they can't afford that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
that card being $3,000, it's hard to pull. It's the it's the card of Sword and Shield. It will be forever known as the card of Sword and Shield. It might be known of the card in the next 10 years, to be honest. Like I think that card's going to be in conversations on YouTube and social media for the years to come. Like that's a spectacle in the hobby. To me it makes sense.
Yeah.
This new Umbreon, as much as I do like it, I don't think that a raw copy should be selling for close to $2,000. You hit it on the money, Henry. I was way too bearish on this. I totally should have, gone with my gut and said something ridiculous, because
Yeah.
that's where we're at in this hobby. We can throw a number and it just sticks because someone sees it as a last sold, and that's the new price.
Yeah.
But I don't think that. By the way, Prismatic Evolutions. It's the worst set to open. I haven't opened a single pack, and I know that just from
Danny.
observations.
You see Danny's
Yeah,
video?
Danny's video was insane. Like it just goes to show.
Depressing.
Yeah,
Depressing.
yeah. When you have content creators like that coming out with stuff like that, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yikes. It's really bad. But I mean, it's a hard card to pull. That being said, it should be expensive, but $1,700, $2,000 for a card that came out last week, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to drop?
Yeah. I don't
Uh,
know. I don't
I don't
know,
know.
bro.
It
Yeah.
could. I mean, I've seen sales that
Hey,
like
good. Yeah.
I've seen sales that have hit to like 1,500. I mean, we're a week in, right? I truly think that the card's going to drop. Um, if Pokemon Company really takes what they say and just run with it by printing this into the ground, I think that a lot more supply will be on the market, be
Hmm.
opened up. There'll be
Hmm.
more of these for sale. I don't know. It's pretty crazy how hard these cards are to pull. Like I had a friend just tell me today he opened an entire case of ETBs and not get a single SIR, like a
Yeah.
single one.
Hmm.
And if you don't hit an evolution, like if you don't hit like Sylveon, Umbreon, I don't even know what Jolteon and Vaporeon. I think Vaporeon, they're like probably a $300 or $400 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, it's like, why not put that money into a PSA 10 from Evolving Skies? Like, you can nearly get like almost all of the EVVs at that price. Like, I think Sylveon's like $500 or $600 if I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
raw, and you can literally get Umbreon V, Espeon V, which
Yeah.
are all right around that mark now, which to me is crazy as well.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I think it's good for the hobby overall. It just depends on where you're looking. I think certain things shouldn't be this expensive, but the market's gonna market. I can't
Yeah.
control it. I can't, it is what it
Yeah.
is.
And I think with it also just being so new, just like you said, how you're like, well, you can just buy all the V's from Evolving Skies. What's gonna happen, and this is like what I've been doing in multiple of my videos, just to look back. That's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen, bro. It's like we have so many new eyes right now in the hobby that they're gonna start to look at Evolving Skies.
Yeah.
They're gonna start to look at Crown Zenith. They're gonna look at Sun and Moon. They're gonna look at
Yeah.
XY. It's just gonna trickle on, and
Yeah.
it's
Like,
gonna be really tough. Yeah.
I had people like, it's crazy to me that people were trying to sell or trade prismatic evolutions for Evolving Skies, Sun and Moon, like black and white. Like,
Yeah.
what?
But yeah,
Anyone making those trades? I had a
it's
friend just
smart.
reach
It's
out.
smart,
Yeah.
bro. It's super
I,
smart. I would.
oh yeah, if it's in your favor, but anyone
Yeah.
doing the opposite side of that transaction, I think is
Yeah.
a terrible decision.
Oh yeah.
Um,
If you're
yeah,
taking that,
like,
yeah.
yeah. You haven't been in this hobby long enough. I don't know why you even
Exactly.
have any of that product to be trading away if that's the kind of plays you're making. But yeah, I had a friend reach out to me today. He's like, "Hey, what do you think if should I trade one of my prismatic ETBs for just 2 Japanese 151 booster boxes?" And I'm like, "I don't." And it was like 45 on top. I was like, "I don't think so. Honestly,
No.
I think the Pokemon Center like exclusive stuff, it's just gonna be more valuable than a Japanese booster box that you can get at any point, right? It's not as rare. It's not as limited release. It has a, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my take.
This, not financial advice, but if I somehow stumbled upon a case or so of prismatic, I would be flipping into older plays that I know are battle tested for
Yeah,
that's what I would do. But again, not financial advice. It just seems like the easy play, and I don't know. I mean, you're more on the ground type of collector. You know what these with these card shows, what they're accepting. I don't really know if they would accept those type of offers,
no,
or are
absolutely
they
not.
right?
They're
It's
the
just
ones
hot.
selling it. No,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just so
they're
hot.
not. If they're buying it, they're buying it at a percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I sold into this hype. I
Hmm.
sold an entire case of the Pokemon Center ETBs. I might regret that down the line, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm like, that's a lot of money to just
Yeah.
leave on the table
Yeah.
on release day of all
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And you could always buy
it
back.
shouldn't be that way.
You could always buy back later. That's the thing. It's like what one thing in the Pokemon, like investing, even collecting space that we don't talk about is just like you can sell into these pumps right now and just
Yeah,
buy back in
yeah,
once this dips. Like if you really say, I mean, like for example, like you bought a case, you're like, hey, I just want to own two down the line. You can buy back in, when
yeah.
it
No,
goes down to like
exactly. Yeah,
600,
yeah.
600,
And
500,
with
whatever it is.
Pokemon Center actually didn't release on release day. This is one of the few sets that they didn't do that with. They didn't do it with 151. They didn't have release day restock. And there was another set. I want to say it was Paradox Rift that they didn't do a restock on
Yeah.
release day
Hmm.
for Pokemon Center ETBs. So
Hmm.
I do know that they will restock this Pokemon Center ETB, and there's opportunity to get some more. Obviously, you can't get a case with their limit changed to 2, but
Yeah.
there's opportunity to get more of these in the future.
Down the line. Yeah, for
And
sure.
you said something earlier. It's just like um, that rang a bell. It's just like people in this hobby now are going to get this assumption that these like quick plays, flips, are with every set. So that's what's happening with Battle Journey. They see the demand for Prismatic. They automatically think that that's going to be replicated with that set.
Hmm.
And people are going to buy heavily into this set thinking that they can do what they're doing with this set and so forth. And it's
Yeah.
like this easy churn and burn and like continuous like money cycle. But in my opinion, I think that's going to be the opposite. Like I think Battle Journey or Journey Together is going to get printed quite a bit
Hmm.
compared to this set.
Yeah.
It's a
And
mainline set.
and it's small. That's the
Yeah,
thing. It's small too. So
yeah, yeah,
I think a lot of these people that are in the hobby now that are buying up a lot of this product, they don't do the deep dive to these sets. They're just buying. no matter what, you know. And I think they're going to be in for a very rude awakening for Journey Together's right in English.
But yeah,
Journey
Journey
Together,
Together's.
yeah. We'll
Yeah,
talk
and
about
people
man battle partners, bro.
battle
Oh
partners,
my,
man. Oh,
my god, I'm
yeah, it's
cooked.
crazy.
I'm
Dude,
cooked.
like I know I have a friend who's a total DJ, and I'm not gonna call him out,
Yeah.
but he bought 5 boxes yesterday at 130.
Oh
5 boxes
my
and
gosh,
ripped them all. He
bro.
pulled the Clefairy, which is great, but like you just like spent nearly like $700.
Bro, I've been telling literally all my friends, do not buy Japanese booster boxes right now at these prices. They're gonna go down.
People are charging 20 or 30 bucks for just the promo with the
Yeah,
box.
yeah, and that's a free and it's a free promo. That
It's a
should
free
have
promo.
came. That should have came.
Yeah.
And like the nastiness of like the hobby right now of like the opportunist. And I knew it was gonna. I mean, me and you predicted it on this last live that we did talking about the Japanese market. We
Yep.
knew that it was eventually gonna pop, and we're here. But the descriptions I see on eBay from Japanese sellers, they go, "Oh, it's you can add on the promo card." It just because we weren't sure if you guys would want the promo. Let me decide what comes with my free booster box. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it
Yeah.
came free in my booster box. You decided to take it out, and now you're not sure if
How is it packaged with the promo?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Are they
I'm
like is it like a pack? It's I assume it's like a box of promos that
I
come
think it
within the case of booster boxes.
yeah, I'm
Because
guessing.
I think that they fixed that with the English. I think the promo is actually like a box topper like we used to have. Like the promo that we're
Mm,
gonna get is going to be inserted
mm.
inside the booster box.
Does anybody know in the chat?
Oh, we got people in here.
Yeah, does anybody know in the chat if the what Jake is saying is correct? If it's a box topper, that'd be awesome if it was
Yeah,
that. So they
I'm
do.
pretty sure the promo is inside.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. G or this person G, obviously, not your real name, but G said, "Who would want to get into collecting with how crazy prices are on modern?" That was actually going to be my next question to you right after you
Mm.
summarize, but um, I kind of touched up on this multiple times, and I've been doing community posts, so check those out as well to hear my crazy Twitter-esque rants on YouTube posts. But with I'm 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 sitting with the players and the kids from this point forward. I think that they should be top priority, and it really sucks that we see these kids pull up to Target, the big box retailers, and they don't have nothing. And it really, really bothers me because that's gonna drive so many people. I was just having this conversation. I just had dinner with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and I told them it's gonna turn off a lot of younger people to the hobby. They're gonna even parents, right? You're gonna go in, your kid's like,
Yeah.
Dad, I want to open Pokemon cards. Okay, cool. You go to Walmart, there's nothing there. Or you go to and then he goes online and he sees these things for like 150 bucks. He's like, I'm not buying you Pokemon card. I'm gonna go buy Yu-Gi-Oh! Or I'm gonna go buy you
Yeah.
whatever. And then Pokemon just loses a forever fan. And with these prices, like it's gonna be tough to get to I'm not small. I mean, how would I explain that? Like just the intro collectors, to get into the hobby and to stay really in the hobby. It's just
Yeah.
it's not a good time for beginner collectors, and it's not a good time for us, like guys like me and you, Jake, that are a little bit more seasoned and really do love this, die hard, fans. And yeah, it sucks.
It definitely sucks. I I do my best with like I meet a lot of new collectors at these card shows and card shops all the time, and I honestly I give them my time a lot of the time because I know how it can be difficult to navigate this hobby, like let alone in a bull market. Like there's products that are still available. If you look hard enough in the right things, like you can still buy Temporal Forces ETBs and Paradox Rift ETBs from Target.com. Like they're
Yeah.
still 50, whatever, 45, 50 bucks right now. So
Hmm.
um, I would look into those sets for, especially for parents looking to get cards for or their kids to open up instead of like paying like G was it G that just said $150 for an ETB. One of the local shops here in the Bay. Shout out to Tofu's Trading. Ton and Avi are great people. They did a great thing. but what they did was they could have totally made a lot more money, but they really stayed true to the way that they do business and like build their community. And they sold ETBs at MSRP, but there was a trick to it. So you could only get one ETB and one other product, one different SKU, right? But
Hmm.
what they would do is they would rip the seal off your ETB to avoid scalpers from coming to buy product at MSRP.
Perfect.
They
That's
had
so
a
cool.
line of 200 people that got tickets for with their number on it to make sure that they got an ETB,
Yeah.
and anyone after that, there was, I think, like auxiliary products like the poster collections, the sticker blisters and stuff like that. um, and they totally could have made like triple or even like quadruple the
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
And they've always been about selling their product on release day at MSRP.
Hmm.
um, and they're one of the best shops in the Bay Area. You can ask anyone from like the San Jose area; they absolutely love Tofu's. They're absolutely one of my favorites.
Sick.
Um, but yeah, that's one way that like you can combat this. If you're there because you want to open this product, that's the place to go to, right? But if you're there to try to scalp, it's not going to work out so much. I mean,
Hmm.
it will detour to a degree. Like you can still think about it this way. Like there might be scalpers there that are like, okay, I could just sell these packs for $10 to $15, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can only do so much. People are going to find loopholes and whatnot. But um, for the kids, I totally have like empathy. I mean, growing up, I mean, we didn't get to have this much like excitement for like Pokemon was crazy as it is as a kid, but this is on a new level. Like kids are opening up like entire booster boxes these days. I was given
Yeah.
like maybe one pack like every other week as like money for chores. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Times are different. Kids expect a little bit too much nowadays, but
Hmm.
yeah, I hope that a lot of these new people that are joining right now don't get discouraged or just like totally get crushed. There's going to be a lot of that, but I think there's going to be a lot of good people that
Yeah.
continue to stick to this hobby and find their lanes, find their niche. Because you don't have to stick to this ultra modern when it's hot. Like you can go to mid era, vintage,
That's what I'm
e-reader,
doing.
Japanese, Korean, Chinese, whatever. Like, dude, you're
That's
like
what I'm doing.
I admire that, Henry, because like I see that like it's just not affordable. Like I genuinely know that. Like so you're able to find a compromise that makes sense for your collection goals because like it's not about like having the most valuable collection. It's not about like flexing or whatever people
Yeah.
do, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
You appreciate the artwork. It doesn't matter what the language is, as long as the quality is great, which I imagine is a lot better than English,
Hmm.
for a way affordable. Like, and you're able to go back to like tag teams like you're doing right now, like the Sun and
Yeah.
Moon stuff, like
Yeah.
that Celebi Venusaur. I saw that vid and I'm like, yes, that's a sick like just regular like full art, almost
Three
ultra. I think
dollars.
it's yeah,
$3.
yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. I get it. So like as long as people feel like they don't have to have the newest and latest and greatest because it's the best set, because that's the what the hype cycle is all about, is
Yeah.
like getting you to think that the next set's the best set.
Hmm.
Journey Together, Team
Yeah.
Rocket, Black and White, Mega is like people are looking forward to sets. Like be present, think about what's out, think about like opportunities that you can like do to make to build your collection and
Yeah.
go from there, because like sooner or later, like look at Surging Sparks right now, it's not the talk of the town anymore.
Yeah.
Like do you see how that fell off like entirely? Obviously there's cards still doing pretty well, but like it's not in like everyone's ears. It's not what all these content creators are talking about as much. And it's because Prismatic's in our faces. That's going
Yeah.
to continue. There's going to
Hmm.
be 20, 30 more sets over the next 5 to 10 years. Like we will have more opportunities. You do not have to have prismatic evolutions. The set, honestly, it's not that great. It's really
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah.
I love a few of the cards. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to go for these cards in the future, but just not right now.
Exactly. Which do you have like a time horizon that you usually go after? I'm usually
I,
like six months to a year,
I
and then I
honestly,
start picking stuff up.
this could be something that I just like. I really have to keep keep away, but not like entirely forget about, because it could be 6 months, it could be a year and 6 months. I don't know. Like I really don't know. and I can build collection into ways that I can trade into those cards later.
Hmm.
Like that whole value leap concept I talk about in one of my videos is like how I'm able to grow my collection. Like
Yeah.
for instance, my friend JD just did like a crazy trade, like an absolutely insane trade. Um, I'm not gonna say like how much he's up, but I will tell you
Yeah.
that he was only into these cards for a fraction. But he traded a Black Label Umbreon VMAX
Hmm.
and a Latios Sun and Moon Team Up PSA 10, both of those,
God damn.
for a Shining First Ed Neo Destiny Zard PSA 10.
Damn.
Huge deal, right? Like,
Huge deal.
and the amount of like money he basically jumped over this hype is kind of insane. And like there's plays like that, like you can really just like find, and people are like, yeah, Latios and Latios Umbreon, but like, I mean, he got Latios and Latios when it was like 1.2, 1.4. That car is selling for 4,000 right now. Like
4x is
that's
crazy.
just an example. Like
Yeah.
Umbreon he got for much less. I will say that than what it's going for right now. Because I know
Yeah.
Bulbasaur just sold one for 12.5.
Bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that when you your last card show that you went to, was it just Pokemon or is it sports as well?
This one,
Yeah, the Fairfield one.
yeah, the Fairfield one is pretty split sports and Pokemon. I would
Oh,
say.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
I do enjoy. Well, this is another question I have for you since you go to a lot of card shows. Have you gone to card shows that are just Pokemon? Like the entire card show is just
Oh,
Pokemon?
card party.
Oh,
Card party.
Card party.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I would say Collecticon's the closest next, as
Okay.
far as like entirely Pokemon. I noticed. Sorry, I wanted to say G said last three sales of Latios and Latios. Yeah, online eBay, sure, I've seen that too. But like, I have a friend that just sold his locally cash 4.3. Like these
Damn.
artificial inflations, G, are so evident. People buying on online, especially on eBay right now, on these like some very sought after popular cars are in my opinion taking an L. Like I can't see myself spending $5,000 on that car when I can go buy like gold stars in PSA 10s. Like to me it just art's gonna art, I get it, but like
Yeah.
the rarity and scarcity of some of these cards that you can get for the same price is just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's right now it's so like my friends have this joke that we just keep banging our heads on the wall to help us understand why this is happening and make sense of it all,
Yeah.
and we're just still banging our heads. It's gonna be like that for some time.
Yeah. What was some of the talk at the card show about the market? Was there any like clear, definitive like ideas of what we're doing here, or
I
because
mean,
you hang around with some pretty big dudes, you know, in the hobby, and some
I
pretty
will say,
smart individuals.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people that are selling into this also understand that this isn't gonna last forever, but they're
Hmm.
clearly really taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, to an extent, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
It's like, but I also see a lot of more vendors that just have this I know what I have mentality, and it's kind of gross. Like I just won't do business with them. My friends won't do business with them.
Yeah.
Um, but there's still like people that are selling at like fair prices. Like I
Hmm.
Latios and Latios is still $700 under what it's
Bro.
selling like at eBay, and he was able to give this person obvious discount because like we keep seeing higher and higher last sales of these cards, and like it's honestly the hobbyist collector's fault by just like accepting these and just continuing to overpay and overpay because they think that they have this card at a certain price that over time it's just going to go up. It's just going to be that way. But it's not the case. I think one of the videos that everyone should watch is top 10 Pokemon's like worst investments of like 2020 or 2021 where he goes back in time like from 2020 to 2021 when people were spending like in like absolutely like mind-blowing amounts on some of these like bigger cards and for them to be like cut in like eighths. Like it was like they're so they've like collapsed. Like Lugia PSA 10 Neo Destiny or Neo Destiny, Neo Genesis sold for like almost $150,000 during the boom.
So
That
nuts.
card's like 35 to 50,000 dollars now. Like people
Yeah.
who's like Jungle Eevees and Pikachu's were selling first edition PSA 10s for like I think $1,000. Like what? Like
Yeah.
you look at the Pikachu, the VMAX Pikachu from Vivid Voltage. That one was selling for really, really strong. And
Hmm.
look at that. And I don't know what's gonna happen with Umbreon. Latios is it's weird because when that set came out, it was like a $19 card.
Crazy.
Umbreon VMAX was never $19. I remember my first raw Umbreon VMAX was like $180 3 months after release.
Yeah.
Um, and people are really just trying to make this the next Evolving Skies, and it's just not. It's really not.
Hmm. I think the set, and I okay, I look at how we got sucked into a prismatic evolution talk,
Yeah.
but I really I'm not super like fond of just the art evolutions. They're
Hmm.
cool. There's some of them really cool, but I think the for me, I'm a trainer guy, and I think the trainers in just the style are so unique. The comic book style,
Yeah,
so
yeah, like the
beautiful.
manga, like
Yeah,
exploded,
dude.
like yeah,
I've
out of
just
frame.
I just been picking up
It's cool.
all the really cheap ones Japanese for like sub $10.
Yeah, I mean,
And
there's still a lot of
that's where I think the value is for me, you know.
yeah. No, like a lot. I bought Goldango, I bought Palafin, and then I think it was the Ursaluna for like really cheap, like under $15 in
So
Japanese.
crazy.
Just I just sent those off for grading too, all three of them.
Super sick.
Um, but yeah, like honestly, like Terra, like Terrestrial Festival is a way better experience than
Yeah.
Prismatic. Like, don't
Yeah.
open this English set. Go open the Japanese set where you're guaranteed an SIR per booster box.
And at
Like
least
that's
it's $90 right now, but still you're
I mean,
still saving
right
money.
right place you can find it for cheaper, but
Yeah,
yeah, I do think that yeah, Terrestrial Festival is a better set texture wise, quality
for
wise,
sure.
value wise from an experience, and yeah, you
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get into to the Asian market for sure. But there was a video that just caught my attention. I watched it this morning, and it was a very small YouTube channel, but he was talking about how just teaching all these new people in the hobby that it's not going to be up forever. He was teaching people in the hobby about just selling
Mm,
and just stuff like that. Very, very informative. It was kind of budget with the editing, but this guy was speaking a lot of facts. And I think that a lot of people that are new in this hobby that have came in this past two sets, they're going to be in for a pretty rude awakening come, let's just say next summer or even into
maybe
Gen 10. You know, it's just like
yeah. I think
it's
there'll be a slowdown in Gen 10 a little bit. I
and
do.
I really like when people they ask me all the time like is it good or bad that we're in this bull market? I'm like I really do hope that we stay this hype. I really hope that people are still this interested in Pokemon in Gen 10. I hope that we don't see a complete recycle or rewash of people being bummed out about Gen 10. I really hope that people are just extremely bullish right from the base set. I think that would be really refreshing and nice, but a man can
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah, American Dream. I mean, I'm really curious. Like, I was just saying this morning, but like Gen 10's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
they got to do something like that really like stays true to the original, but also brings something fresh and new that excites people.
Hmm.
Um, I really just hope they go back to more like tough like starter Pokemon. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like a little bit more
I know what you mean.
aggressive.
I know what you
Like
mean.
you look at like War Turtle or you look at Charmeleon, you look at
Yeah.
those and they're like more of those angsty teens that are kind of more aggressive. And I don't think any of the Gen 9 Pokemon have that. Like in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
They're more like elegant
yeah, and
type,
not
you
even
know?
yeah, Gen 8, like Sword and Shield too. Like I don't
Yeah.
feel like they had that either, and I
Yeah.
want to see a little bit more of
Yeah.
that going into this next
Yeah.
gen.
Gen 1 and 2, the Pokemon designs are tough. They're
Yeah,
super tough.
yeah,
I think I like the little thing. It's just the little one thing.
yeah,
That's they got me. But yeah, I like I said, I'm of course, I'm super excited for Gen 10, and we're only gonna. I'm hoping for fusions again. That's my thing. I mean, it's like, what is left? What
They
is
don't need a
left?
gimmick. They don't need a gimmick. They just need a good story, great
But
Pokemon,
as
epic legendaries.
so as I'm playing Pokemon Pocket more and more, I'm like, I'm so hooked. I'm in it. Like
Oh
me
gosh,
and
I
my
hope you're
whole
not buying
no
things on
no no
that.
no no no
Yeah,
no
yeah,
no no
yeah.
no no. It's me and my entire family. Like we're in it, dude. So it does make me see more of like the Pokemon hobby in total,
Yeah.
and now seeing like how these like gimmicks, like just the EX cards and all that stuff, like I'm trying to put two and two together for like the next. There has to be a gimmick, obviously, because of the card game,
Of course.
and I think next up would be the fusions. And I'm just it's
I'm
like a
thinking
layup,
that I'm
bro.
so scared.
It's a
I'm so
layup.
scared of fusions.
It's a layup. It just seems like an easy bucket for Pokemon to go
Yeah.
to go next. It can be a fusion. So like here's what I was saying, right? So in Pokemon Pocket, and I'm sure in the normal card game, you're so dependent on these trainer cards, right? Maybe it's like some type of fusion with the Pokemon where they like as they control the Pokemon through some type of.
Oh damn.
I'm not the one. I'm not the one making the big bucks over there in Pokemon.
You need to be in the Pokemon think tank, man.
Yeah, dude. That's like my dream. Me and Eric have been like pulling for this. I'm praying that that's what we get. It just makes so much sense. Like just the GX attack teams cards, but just put them together. Just put them together. They somehow fuse into
I
this
don't
like
know.
ancient soul. Oh my gosh, dude! It'd be everything I ever wanted. Like,
It was so funny. Like I was here thinking, like, what can they do? And I was like, Delta species. Like, yeah. But then I was like, wait a second. That's kind of what terrestrial is. Like they just
yeah,
change type.
they changed
I'm
typing.
like,
Yeah,
they could do that in different ways. Like I
yeah,
wish they would do something more Delta like, where it's like an
yeah,
actual like just like electric Charizard or something like that. Like
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Shout out to Shug. Thank you for joining, bro. Good to
Sup,
see you in
Shug?
here.
Yeah. So that's my pick, and I'm gonna keep on. Maybe Pokemon. Maybe someone that works at Pokemon's watching. Stop by real quick and you just hear your boy. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan too.
Yeah,
So
I heard a rumor, and this could have been like the most BS rumor, but and it probably is. But there was
yeah.
like I think it was like a leak, whatever. I don't take this as like anything, but someone said that the new gen would be called like Wind and Wave, and
Hmm.
like in my mind, I'm like that sounds cool to me. Like
That
where
sounds
can they
dope.
take that? Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
don't know. But who knows? Like Sword and Shield came out of nowhere. I liked it. I liked how that sounded.
Yeah.
Like it was cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Scarlet and Violet, I see what they were doing, like the future ancient. It
Hmm.
was clever, but
Yeah.
who knows? Gen 10 could be something
Yeah.
entirely. Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't it kind of crazy that like we're already talking about Gen 10?
I'm honestly
Like,
just excited because like I've I'm one of those people that actually find cool Pokemon in every generation. I feel
yeah,
like there's a
same,
lot of
same.
people that tend to like just like disregard new gens, and that's what happens with base sets. Like Pokemon you typically goes really hard on the new Pokemon in base sets. Like you look at Scarlet and Violet, you look at Sword and Shield, like Scarlet and Violet, there's only like out of all the SIRs, only one of them isn't from Gen 9, and that's Gardevoir. Like that's
Gardevoir,
the
yeah,
only one. Yeah,
yeah.
every single other one is from Gen 9.
Hmm.
And then you go into Paldea Evolve, they start slipping you in some like older Pokemon, and you're like, okay. But
Yeah,
then they like, I mean, we're eight Surging Sparks, we get our Pikachu, we get Latias, we get all these other cards or other Pokemon. And they'll do that with Gen 10. Like they'll go hard. I'm just yeah, I don't know. I need a badass water type. I need like
yeah,
something really cool.
yeah. I like how'd
Do
you
they
feel?
check I was gonna
How,
say, do you think
oh,
they
sorry.
change types? Sorry, do you think they change types for the starters? Like, do you think that they go that far where it's like, no, it's not water, fire, grass. We get
That
like
dude, that would be
psychic,
amazing,
ghost,
bro.
or rock or
Bro,
steel?
I've been preaching that for so long. Why they couldn't just go into like what like the possibilities could be endless,
Endless, endless. I know, I know.
endless.
I actually had a theory with Gen 9 that I thought would have been really cool when they started like leaking like with the types. And I
Hmm.
remember like the water was supposed to be like some sort of like pirate duck or whatever. So I was like,
Fire,
oh, what if it's like water ghost because it's like a pirate ship? And then
fire.
like I was like it totally disappointed me. Like my
Uh,
expectations were so much higher, and we got
I
Quackable just looking at himself in the damn mirror, all three
bro,
arts, bro.
bro, I was
Like,
at
how conceited do you have to be?
I was in Disneyland, right, waiting for the starters to drop, and my boy's like, they're dropping. They're dropped. I like ran to the nearest like I think my girl was hungry, so she got like a salad or whatever, and I was like I'm trying to get internet to my phone, and I found a spot. Finally found the starters. I was like,
Dude, why couldn't
we got Donald Duck and
Dude, why couldn't they have Quackable with the fro, bro? Because like he'll actually like shake his hair out before he
that'd be
slicks it. He
cool.
looks so much better. He looks so much
Yeah.
better with the fro. Like, come on, there's things like that.
But
Yeah.
Fuecoco was the moment I saw Fuecoco, I was like, oh, that's my guy. And then the anime made him like even better, and I was like, okay, clear.
I haven't watched it.
Oh my god,
But
dude, you
yeah, I did
have
like
to.
Fokoko. I'm not the Skeledirge where he's kind of like got the songbird, firebird. I didn't even catch
Yeah,
that until later on.
yeah,
But like I don't know, like
yeah,
I'm not
it,
attached to those starters, but like I look at like Annihilate, I'm
yeah,
like that Pokemon
fire.
is fire.
Yeah, super sick.
Um,
Me and
there's always cool Pokemon
me,
every
me and
gen.
Eric when the Gen 9 first dropped, we're like, of course the most hated set would be Spain, you know? It's like me and Eric both Mexican, and we're like, this is this is our set, bro. This is our set. It's like
I know. Where do they
hella
go
weak.
now? Where do they go now?
Hella weak. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe where have we not tapped? Like
I mean,
what's a
a,
popular
I mean they've. I mean, could they do like I don't know, like Antarctica or something like that? Something like a frozen, like it's something
yeah,
completely different. Because like we've done like Alolan is basically like Hawaii, basically, right?
yeah,
If we think
yeah.
about it, like Sun and
Yep.
Moon.
Hmm. Have they
Yeah,
done
I
it in
don't know.
Africa? I would like
I
to
don't
see an
know. That would be
Africa.
cool. That would be
That'd be
cool.
hella cool.
Yeah.
There's like so much flavor there.
Culture. Yeah,
So much
exactly.
culture. Like you can pull out of I'm sure there's tons of African like folklore that they could pull
Yep.
from. Some super sick stuff. But
We'll
if you
see.
if you had to pull so say Pokemon said, "Hey Jake, we're going to make your dreams come true. We're going to with your the three starters aren't going to be what they've been. What would they be? What would be its hypings for you? Cuz I have
Like,
mine.
oh, if they wouldn't be water, grass, fire, what would they be?
Exactly. Exactly.
I think Ghost would be one.
Mhm.
I think Ghost would be cool. Steel would also be cool.
Okay, you got two or three of mine.
Oh, really? No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I love steel Pokemon.
And
Skarmory's
electric.
okay. Okay.
Electric. Yeah.
Mine would be steel Ghost Fairy.
Fairy? Yeah. I mean,
Ghost Fairy Psychic. That's
Oh
right
yeah, Ghost
there.
Fairy Psychic. Yeah. Well, damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty close.
Pretty close.
Damn.
I think steel. I'm running right now. I'm running this the Meltang Wigglytuff deck right now, and
Hmm.
Meltang's like I always loved Meltang. Such a weird Pokemon, and
Yeah.
just like I just love like the like Klefki, like love that Pokemon. Just weird little things that don't make sense, but it's just in the world of
Yeah.
Pokemon. It's like oh, it makes sense, you know. So that's I did have one other question. If you had to summarize these, it's gonna be a little loaded, but if you had to summarize the Scarlet and Violet era in less than 3 words, what would it be? How would you?
Oh my gosh.
Less than 3 words.
Like, are we talking about like just the sets, or are we talking about the hobby as a whole?
We can yeah, whatever you want, bud. Whatever you want. You can do hobby. You can do just by the sets.
I'm gonna.
Kind of a tough one.
Yeah, I think that art wise, like it's such an improvement. Like they're
Major improvement.
yeah, honestly a major improvement art
Yeah.
wise. Like they,
Yeah.
I like. I mean, we look at it was it's literally an evolution because you think
Yeah.
about the types of cards you're pulling. I would say like it's an one word would be evolution. Let's just say that. I'll say
Okay.
evolution, and because we went from yellow borders to silver borders or gray borders, which is like amazing because it lets it like allows the artwork to thrive without
Yeah,
having this glaring yellow border.
for
Don't get
sure.
me wrong, yellow borders from a nostalgia aspect are just, it's just nostalgia, right? But
Hmm.
like you look at like before Scarlet and Violet, and you look at like the trainer galleries from Japanese, and they just, the colors just, it breathes so much better than that
For
clashing
sure.
yellow.
For sure.
Um, so I would say like as an evolution, that's, there's that aspect, but there's also like the aspect of like art rares, illustration rares that are focused on the Pokemon that I think are easier to pull, gives you something to be excited about without having to have that ultimate chase where it's like super torture if you're like opening Evolving Skies, right?
Yeah, it
Uh,
is facts. Yeah.
so I would say that like it's an evolution. Um, I would also say it was underrated up until Surging Sparks,
Yeah.
probably.
Did you
Um,
watch the Rob Burns the his last live? The one, not the
Last night,
no, not that one. The one prior with like Opossum Bud.
I
And
watched a little bit of
it
it
was
here and there.
it was really good, dude. But they pretty much was saying that everyone was like, "Oh, it was the Scarlet and Violet era was trash up until," and Opossum's like, "Am I the only one that just thought that like the
No,
whole sets were good?" Like
I've been
that
here on Scarlet and Violet
that's
day
what I'm
one.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like I think you can tell really whose heart is in it or has been in it when you just ask that question. Ask
Yeah,
any of your friends like
yeah.
or any like not your friend, they're already vetted, but any newbie in the hobby be like, "Oh, how'd you feel about those first couple sets?" Ah, they're trash. Dude, were they
No,
though? They
yeah.
weren't. Like,
I mean, Paldea Evolved was the second set. No one cared about that set when it came out. Like
yeah,
literally, like
yeah,
Tyranitar Raichu, those were like 15, like $20 cards
yeah,
max. Like
yeah,
max.
yeah.
No one still cares about the legendaries from that set, like Chen
Hmm.
Pao, Chi Yu, Wo-Chin,
Yep.
Ting Lu. All of them are
Tinglu. Yeah.
fire. Like Chin
Fire.
Pao, Chi Yu and Chin Pao are like epic.
Beautiful
Uh,
arts.
Beautiful arts,
Beautiful
and there's
arts.
still, I think Wo Chin is like 50, 60. Chen Pao is like 80. It's the most expensive. Chi Yu is just around there. I want to say like 70 to 80 bucks. And
Yeah.
those are epic legendaries from a new generation and like
Is it
so underrated. And you look at Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet base, the Gardevoir entire line, Slowpoke, Hypno, even like the
like what do they
Spinox
want?
and Tarantula, like they're great. It's just like people, yeah, I think people were disappointed with the pull rates, and like it's so funny because we go back and forth like the hobby does this where it's like, oh, it's too easy to pull, like wham, like I want harder cards to pull, like nothing's expensive, and then Pokemon's like, all right,
Yeah,
give us like 5 sets. Temporal forces will make things more difficult. You want a chase card, you get Greninja, and it's really harder, it's much harder to pull based off of like pull data from all these other people.
yeah,
um and then now it's like, oh, prismatic evolutions, it's way too hard to get anything, and I'm just like, this, be careful what you wish for. You wanted an Evolving
exactly,
Skies 2.0, you wanted harder pull rates, and now you want to go back. But it's also,
exactly.
it's like we had this like calming period during the Scarlet and Violet. I was talking to Nick Pokeplumber. He's
Hmm.
on Nostalgianomics' lives from time to time, and it's just like 2023 was like such a calming period for Pokemon as a
Loved
like a
it.
modern person, because like Scarlet and Violet base, like you can get all these like SIRs for really cheap. I was buying up Miraidons, Koraidons, Gardevoirs, Venusaur, Blastoise from 151, Alakazams, like for really cheap. And like it's so weird because now Blooming Waters is like this obsession with all these new hobbyists, or like even hobbyists that have been here all of a sudden want like 151 because everyone else wants it. And I'm like, where were you literally the last almost 2 years in this hobby with
Yeah,
Scarlet and Violet? Like my track record shows like I have every Scarlet and Violet in PSA 10 SIR up to Paradox. I just finished Temporal. Like I'm really close to catching up, but there's certain cards now that I'm just like I'm priced out of at the moment because I don't think they're worth that much. Greninja's like
exactly.
reaching close to 800.
It kind of taints our like, especially if guys that have been in it for so long like me and you, it kind of taints our like vision on these cards with these prices. We're like, I'm not paying that. I had all these years to buy it at 35 and now it's at $100. I'm not paying that. um but yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. Like I was enjoying the hobby so much when everything was just
Yeah,
affordable and nobody like wanted it. Like I
just
dude,
coasting.
I was straight up. I was enjoying every single like AR pull or IR pull in English. It just felt so good. I was like, "Oh, Pokemon's back." Like this
Yes.
is like we're fully
It's
back. And then that's when I just started making like, video or opening videos and stuff, and people were just so bearish just on these sets. And I'm like, what am I not?
yeah.
Am I the foolish one for liking this stuff? Or do people not see what I'm seeing? But then I started hearing people that have been in the hobby for much longer, for way longer than I've been, and just talking about it. Like we go in swings.
Yeah, there's swings. Yeah.
It's gonna get popular, dude. Like trust me, all the stuff that you're hyped on right now, people are gonna be hyped on later on,
Yeah.
and
Like
it's
Hussein is one of my homies in my Cards and Coffee crew, and like he's really sad. Like he's a big ripper. Like he enjoys ripping with his wife, and it's like
fire.
an experience. And like he's been doing it like all of Scarlet and Violet. Like it's one of the things that he cherishes about this hobby is just that experience. And like he's not having that enjoyment anymore because of the way Prismatic is and like just overall hobby. And so he's actually been ripping Terrestrial Festival, having a way better experience because it just makes sense. Like
Yeah,
the hobby can't thrive, like it cannot thrive like this. It just doesn't work. And Link also made a good point. Like that 2023, like early 2024 window was like perfect for TCG players too, because they can get the cards they need that are playable right now. Like I'm sure there's playable cards in Prismatic. I don't play the TCG. I'm not very familiar with the meta. I have friends that play the TCG, and I'm sure that there's cards they want in here that are probably just a little bit more than they should be. And it's just it makes a poor experience in the hobby. And I think Pokemon will do a good job of figuring this out soon, hopefully.
I wonder. So have you watched Danny Phantom's videos when he talks about the price of certain EX cards, like just being like $5-10 because they're so playable? I wonder if that's going on right now in in a Pokemon bull market since it's so high. Have you seen any videos like that, or do you know?
No.
Maybe one of your friends knows any stuff like
Yeah,
that. Anyone in
I've
the chat
the chat.
knows
Yeah, for players like
for
our
players? Like
says
are like the most popular EX cards playable? Are they
yeah.
also booming? Are they also like $15 for a Charizard EX? But
Just basic, yeah, there's probably like basic cards that like you look at the regular EXs from Prismatic, like the
mhm.
EVs, they're probably way more expensive than like like you look at like the Arcanine EX from Scarlet and
Yeah,
Violet, or like those are probably like in comparison are way more expensive
yeah,
because they're almost like feel like a hit at this point because you're not pulling anything.
yeah, dude. Yeah. Let's see. Prismatic doesn't have any playable cards. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah,
are all
yeah,
reprints.
yeah.
They're all reprints.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant like I'm sorry. Just sets prior. So like Surging Sparks. If some of those
Oh
cards
yeah, I
are
assume there was probably some because it's a mainline
right.
set. Yeah.
Wasn't like I think like a Buddy Poffin, was that from Obsidian
That was
Flames that was really
I think
playable?
that Buddy Poffin was that Twilight?
Or is that Twilight? Oh, maybe
I'm not
Twilight.
sure. I don't
I don't know. I
remember.
don't play.
I yeah, I don't play. Sorry, y'all. Collector
I,
boy.
I see the gold cards, the gold trainer cards. I'm like, bulk.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Twilight. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Twilight. Yeah. So yeah, it's man. What was I gonna say? What was our last topic? I'm sorry.
Oh, we were talking about. Oh, I went on a tangent, but we were talking about like three words. I was gonna say evolution, underrated, and overvalued.
Overvalued. Okay. Mine would be New Heights because
Good one. Yeah,
it
it's
just seems
definitely New
like
Heights.
yeah, it just seemed like every time things would get silly, I would dude, if none of you guys in the chat right now are on Pokemon Reddit,
Oh,
it is
I stay out of that. I stay out of that.
oh my god, it's the best. I love
Oh,
Pokemon Reddit. I'm
no,
dude.
no way.
That is like
That
my
is
favorite.
toxic.
Bro, I love it because it's like real degenerate Pokemon.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Not our Pokemon investing. Not the
Yeah, no,
investing. The
I don't.
straight up,
Yeah,
bro. Like they predict some pretty like if I'm ever lacking motivation to make a video, I go on that and I'm like, oh, there's a topic I can talk about right now that I feel the exact same way that I can't come out and say the way you guys are saying it, but it's I love that community. But yeah, a lot of them predicted that we would be here in this crazy,
Mm.
bull market right after Twilight. Right after I enjoyed the sleepy lull period,
Oh yeah,
like
me too.
in between. As much as I like, I mean, as much as like Shrouded Fable and what was it? Night Wonder. That's like it was an okay
Mhm.
set. I pulled like a lot of the top cards, which was awesome. I love Crimson Haze. Crimson Haze was one of my favorite sets all year. Same thing with Mask of Change, one of my favorite sets. And I was buying all those boxes at $35, $40, picking up singles left and right. And then we go right into Super Electric Breakers. I was like, okay, cool. It's breathing. It's pumping a little bit. It's going to get a little bit more expensive. And then we go right into
Yeah, next
Terrestrial.
time.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh. So, I mean, I guess it's a perfect transition to go into the Asian Pokemon market of what it's doing like right now. I am I'm sweating, dude. It sucks. It sucks to see
I'm.
my precious just
I
being
mean,
eaten alive, dude.
yeah.
It
There's a lot of
sucks.
stuff. It's like you see the like I told you, like Hussein never rips Japanese, and you're pushing people out because they can't justify spending this amount on these cards, or even opening the product that they have, because it's just worth so much more sealed. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have a bad time. Like,
Yeah.
and so they're moving into Japanese. People are going to start putting more money into Japanese when it's more affordable, more accessible,
Hmm.
and a bet like it's how it is. That being said, there's still a lot of cheap cards in Terrestrial Festival that probably should be, you know, considered. Like Roaring Moon, that card's really cheap. Raging Bolt, still really cheap.
Yeah.
Um,
Same thing with
but like,
the Jolteon, dude. Jolteon sell
yeah,
$50. I
yeah,
just saw not too long ago. Like
yeah,
I gotta
that,
check what it is right now, but before I open my big mouth, it's
yeah,
probably jumped up. But um yeah, I predicted this what 4 months ago, that with the anticipation and hype for with all these new sets, I was like, okay, we're gonna. I saw English starting to get stupid. I think this when me and you just like first started to become friends. We were talking about how the market was overheating then, or starting to get hot.
yeah. My
Uh,
first signal was honestly that Greninja, and from there, like I look back at when Greninja came out, and I was like, Temporal had harder pull rates, and like if you really think about it, even back Paradox Rift, like the chase card was the most expensive chase card at the time, and that was Roaring Moon.
yeah,
And then that card's tanked. That card is tanked,
yeah,
raw.
yeah.
And
I don't
then Iron
understand why.
and Iron Crown too. I don't know if you remember this, but like everyone was talking up Iron Crown like it was this big deal.
Yeah,
Like I remember, I think it's Phillips Collects. He made a few videos just like idolizing that Iron Crown because it was like it was hitting some high numbers, and I'm like,
yeah,
I mean, it's a cool card. I
yeah.
just don't think the sentiment for that Pokemon is there for it
For
to
sure.
really like out like
That's
stay this way.
Version, right? Version.
No, that's Cabalion.
Oh, Cobalion,
Cabalion.
Cobalion. Yeah.
Yeah. But and I mean, look at that card now. I have two tens that if I were to buy it at the high,
Hmm.
I I still wouldn't have had enough money to buy the two tens that I have. Like
Yeah.
it was like a 350 almost $400 card.
I think that card and the Greninja were to me tops, like getting
Yeah, yeah, that was the signal. Like,
toppy.
and then there was a weird moment with Shrouded Fable because there wasn't a chase.
Hmm.
Like there wasn't like a big card from that set that people were like really like excited about. Everyone's focus for that set was honestly the promo boxes with the Greninja and the
Yeah.
Kingdra,
Yeah.
and those have gone up quite a bit
Hmm.
recently. To me, I think those promos are going to stand the test of time from the
For
Scarlet and
sure,
Violet
dude.
era. I
Yeah,
think
for
they'll
sure.
be like known as like some of the more popular cards from this whole generation. Um,
Facts.
and the fact that Japan hasn't had them yet is interesting. I wonder if they will, or if they're holding them back for something. Are there more cards that have that art style that they want to introduce in a later set? Who knows? Um, I know that China is getting them or has got them. Uh, but yeah, those signals, and then we had Stellar Crown, right? And Stellar Crown was all about well, we had the new rainbow borders, right? And that was
Hmm.
like, okay, they're creeping into this terrestrial festival like theme where they're gonna have all these rainbow border cars, surging sparks, and we got the Terra Terrapagos,
Trapagos, yeah.
and what's the other one? The spider, the electric spider.
Joltik
Garvantula,
and
Garvantula,
Garvantula. Yeah,
yeah.
Garvantula. Yep.
So those are the two rainbows. They weren't. Terrapagos is still floating around 2 to 250 in a 10.
That's so
Um,
nuts.
and then Squirtle and Bulbasaur, they're like 50, $60 cards if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. They
They're
might be even
80,
more.
80. Remember I showed you the
Oh,
picture.
that was the Squirtle?
Yeah, it was
It
Squirtle.
wasn't
Yeah.
151? Oh my
Nah.
gosh.
Uh-uh. Here, I got I
Yeah.
got I got notes. I got proof right here, boys.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. We graded so many of those. Hussein graded like so many sequential sets of those three. Yeah,
$80.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
I
good.
have I have
I have
I
one in the
have
binder.
I bought my girl on my Japanese video because I just wanted to buy it. She wanted to buy some common cards and stuff. And she's like, I want that card. I was like, oh, it's a good card. And in English,
Yeah.
it's not affordable, but in Japanese, it's like I think I paid
Yeah.
what, $5 in Japan,
Yeah.
$4,
See.
something like that.
Uh,
Just absolutely crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, the I I just knew when Pokemon released Stellar Crown and then Shroud of Fable back to back, I was like, oh, people are gonna be pissed and hungry. It would have made a little bit more sense if right after Shroud of Fable it was a little bit better set, but then you go back to back. I think, like I said, I always use the beach ball, analogy.
Yeah.
It's just it made it pretty bad. And then once people saw that Greninja, I saw that Greninja, I was like, okay, it's cool, but is it that cool? I really liked. Me and you go back and forth.
Yeah. You're a fan.
I'm a
It's don't
fan.
don't get me wrong. It's grown on me. I like the card, but
Yeah,
I'm. It's not my favorite SIR
yeah.
from Scarlet and Violet.
I would love to see someone like graffiti that on a wall. That's
Oh, it'd
kind
be
of
dope.
it'd be so sick. Like that is definitely one of it. It's like a King Greninja. It looks like the
Yeah.
almighty
There's an
Greninja. Like
there's
it's
an
so
artist
good.
there's an artist I follow on Instagram that does sketches and paintings, and he does graffiti too,
Fire,
out of Norway. I think I might be misremembering, but the sketch of Blastoise I got was from him. He might
fire.
be the perfect person for that because
Oh
he does like some really cool like graffiti on the walls of like he did Lugia, he did Umbreon for someone's wall in their home. It looks
yeah,
crazy good.
fire.
But yeah, having him commission something like that might be like ideal.
All right. Send me the
I
link
will.
after.
I will.
But yeah. So those are the two top signals, and then I just saw the entire market just shift overnight, pretty much, and I'm like, where were you guys? Like,
Yeah, and there's always that like
yeah,
people like people get so like caught up into the FOMO. It's just like a doom buy situation, which is like someone just like and by doom buy just they doom spend their money. They just like they don't think about the amount of money they're paying for these cards. They just think that I have to have them now, no matter what the cost is. And it's always in my experience,
it's always
and what I've
bad.
seen, it's always a bad way to go about it.
Yeah,
Like you have to think about the opportunity cost, and like I always try to tell people like buy stuff cheap, sell it high, and don't buy into the FOMO because that way you can literally build your collection. Like I'm telling you, dude, I've been selling those Mew EXs for
hmm
$40 sealed, $45 sealed.
yeah.
And I bought those at $2 or $3. And
Such a crazy
I had
return.
this conversation and I'm saying this is what happened. I remember this so vividly. It was when 151 Japanese came out. Mew was in the set. It was one of the top chases. Probably still is like one of the top chases
Still
in the
is, yeah.
Japanese set.
hmm
It's still very, in my opinion, still very cheap, because that card's not easy to pull. And then you have the Mew EX promo and the UPC, and the sentiment in the hobby was like people were just like, oh, it's just a promo. I don't want it anymore. It's so cheap. You can just it's no fun. I wanted it to be in the set. Like cry, wham, wham. And then nobody wants it. And I go, hold on a second. You're telling me that we're getting an SIR as a promo and it's for $2 or $3 and it's probably like
A
S
top
tier
10,
Pokemon,
for
legendary. Like
sure.
you literally you think of 151, you think of Mew. Like it is the Pokedex entry for Mew. Like it's the Pokemon. It's a cute Pokemon that not only like the boys interested, like the girls are interested in this card. Like everyone is interested in this card at the end of the day. and
Yeah.
I say, you know what? I'm gonna buy a bunch of these. I wish I bought more. I wish
Yeah.
when I had the opportunity where I was literally going through all of them looking for the best centered ones, I should have even thought about it and just turned off my brain, bought them all, and I would be making so much more money right now. Not only on those, but on the UPC Zard promos. I was buying those because no one wanted those. They were super cheap. The Pokemon Company printed that into the ground. Do you remember what pre-orders were going for? Were you in the
Mm-mm.
hobby?
Yeah. Yeah. I was in a hobby. Yeah.
200, $250 pre-order, and then they dropped down to like $70 to $80. I was buying. I only have one sealed of that. I kept that. I have like four 151 UPCs sealed,
Mm-hmm.
and I was buying the sealed promos for $8, $12 because they were so cheap. And I'm like, okay, you get 3 alt arts in a sealed promo, and the sentiment across the hobby is that they're not valuable or like sought after because they're just
Yeah.
accessible. They're
Yeah.
only accessible for a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
I didn't see into the future there, but that was the closest I've ever felt to seeing into the future with the Mew. Like I'm not even kidding. Like this happens all the time. It's like, where were you if you were in the hobby at that time? Why did you decide to FOMO buy into that card now?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you didn't want it then. And it's because of this
Exactly.
value, like it's it's like they start to feel like they're never gonna get it and that now they have to buy it. But like
Yeah.
you could have bought more, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually making a play on a card right now. I'm not gonna say it. I haven't told
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
I literally I have not told anybody because it's in everyone's faces and it's still dumb cheap. And to me it's not an S tier Pokemon, but it's definitely an A tier.
Okay.
And I think that the card will do really well long term. And I bought like 100 of them. Let's just say that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, and it to me
Yeah.
it's like it's not because I'm like trying to like manipulate the market because they're readily accessible. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like anyone has equal playing field here. Like I'm not changing the price on these. I'm not pumping the price. I'm buying them what they currently are and I'm tucking them away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what I should do going into 2025, or we're in 2025 now, but I don't see those type of plays. I'm just like, I need 1 or 2 for the binder, maybe 1 for the grade,
And when I say
and
that, and it's such a good idea to start thinking that way because if there are cards that you want that are valuable, regardless, you can make plays in order to make that happen for way less than market price, like cash,
yeah,
out of your bank account. I've
yeah,
done it so many times, like my friend JD that did that flip, or not even a flip. He saw an opportunity and he ran with it, and he took action. And like getting that first Edge Shining Zard in a PSA 10, that's a Grail card. Like that's a
for
huge
sure,
deal.
bro.
Like,
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
yeah,
Like Neo Destiny, like yeah, that's crazy. So like there's things like that where you can do it at like lower levels, like I did with the Muse. Like
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's just for me, like I'm kind of like, if I have 1 copy, like this is the type of collector I am. Like this is why I have my YouTube channel, because I'm so different from the rest
oh
of
yeah.
how people think. It's so simple, and and for me, I have 1 of the card and I'm just like, cool, I have the card. Why do I need another? Why do I need to buy 4 other versions of the card? I already have the card. That's just how my brain works. Um, I said maybe I can change that, but let me know if I'm on an island, guys. Like anyone in the chat, are you guys like me? In am I on an island by myself with this one? I just like having one of the card, and then that's pretty
No,
much
I
it.
get it.
It's
But
just
like
like
what if
tough
that
for
one
me to.
card was like $200, $300? Are you just saying, you know what? It's if it's 200, 200, 300, let's just say in any language. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
where like it's a card that
yeah,
you're attached to, but
mhm,
it's at that price point where it just doesn't feel comfortable to like actually spend hard earned cash on it.
yeah,
Like but you have a card that you bought like 15 of, 20 of that were like at $1 a piece, and now they're like $50 a piece, and now you go
yeah.
sell those off, and you can just
No, I feel that 100%. Like I totally get it, but my brain, my collector brain, like I'm still like, I still treat this as like I was 10 years old, Like I still haven't caught up to like the adult money
okay.
part of this hobby. And I mean,
I'm
that's
gonna
why I'm friends with people like you, bro. Like real
yeah.
talk, like real.
Okay,
I'm here to learn, bro.
I want to do something
Straight
really
up.
cool. Like you can take your time, maybe come back to the next podcast. But like I want to give you a task for the year, like
Hmm.
one task, and that is for you to make a play on a card and grade multiple copies of it.
Okay.
So I want you to like find like one card that you think, whether English, Japanese, even Korean, Chinese, that you think just like do some research on like its current value, how many copies are being bought every day on the open market, both eBay, TCG Player, Buy,
Hmm.
wherever you're buying your Japanese cards,
Yep.
and think about like the opportunity, the sentiment for that card, the nostalgia for that Pokemon, whatever it is, and come back at the end of the year with that card multiple graded and see what value you're at versus the cost you're in at it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a task. That's a task I'm giving you. I want to get a
Yeah.
task from you. So if you think about something on your end, it doesn't have to be now.
My task is for you to really like a card and only own one copy.
I do. I do. I
Raw,
only have
raw, raw,
raw,
raw.
raw.
and
Okay,
you
okay,
gotta just stare at it.
dude. My friends are okay. This is like completely off topic, but
Yeah.
the new graded guards came out last week. Like my inner circle, my cards and coffee crew are
Yeah.
so bullish on graded guard. It's so funny.
That's sick.
We literally like it was a limited release, so these two came
Yeah.
out. This is the cotton candy and the voltage.
Fire.
Um, the limit was like 10 per person. Like we had like multiple people buying these just so that we can have multiple of them because like on the open market right now, this is how bullish we are in this hobby right now. These are reselling for like $30 to $40 a piece.
Hmm.
They're $18. The guards, not the card. The guard is reselling for double, triple the price
Why?
because they're
Oh, they're
limited releases.
limited.
They sold out like the
Oh.
Pokemon Center within hours, dude.
Oh
Like
my
I'm not even kidding.
gosh.
But we like my friend Hussein literally got home and had his package and just started putting all of his guards on. You gotta
That's
have
sick.
matching guards for your cards. This is like
That's
my favorite
sick.
of all time.
Yeah, that's a fire
And then
combo.
yeah, this
Yeah,
one here.
I guess with me, like with Mike, with again, and this is why I'm friends with people like you, friends with people like Eric, and everyone in between, dude. I got guys at work now that come up to me to talk about like Pokemon investing and stuff, and yeah, it's just tough for me to spend some extra money on like on Pokemon plays like that when it's not a
Sure,
booster box or a sealed product like that. Like it just
sure.
it's for me it would be like when I buy a booster box, it's a piece of art. And I'm like, cool, I could stay this thing can go to zero. It doesn't matter. It's a piece of art for me. I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
All that in between. Same the Japanese booster boxes, whatever. But if I have to buy 15 of the same damn Pikachu card, and if those things go to
I
zero,
gave you
guess what?
5, not 15.
I got
5.
I got 15 Pikachu cards I gotta stare at for the rest of my life that I gotta try to flip one day. That's just with me, but I do understand like how that can be beneficial going into,
I
a
know I'm not
better
thinking about it from like I'm not thinking about it from like a financial like I'm thinking more so as like building your collection with less.
Yeah, oh yeah,
And
100%.
that's all I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is because like I I didn't start grading until 2023. So like
Hmm.
I built my collection like through raw minty cards, and I thought, I have really high standards for my raw cards. I
Yeah.
should start pivoting into graded cards. And
Yeah.
like I did my first 8 cards through a friend, Kirby. It
Hmm.
went really well, and I did some tests, right? Like I sent ultra modern, I sent mid era, and I sent even like a semi vintage. I sent I guess I don't even know if it's probably mostly mid era because it's black and white, but
Yeah.
that it was the Plasma Storm Shiny Blastoise, and like I was really thinking it could 9, and it did. Like it gave me like a good confirmation there, and then everything else modern 10s. Like I
Yeah.
was like it built like a confidence, and I was like, oh, and then I sold like 2 of those cards for like a couple hundred each that I was in for like $30-$40 a piece, and I was
Yeah.
like, hold on a second. I mean, it doesn't always work out. Like
For
there's
sure.
some
Yeah.
like there's some risk in gambling with grading.
Hmm.
Obviously, like people are looking at your cards that are paid minimum wage.
Hmm.
But I've had better experiences than bad experiences. What I'm trying to say, and it's helped me grow and scale my collection to where I
Yeah.
want it, faster and with
Yeah.
less out of pocket.
Yeah. I guess for me, here's like another rebuttal that I have. Like, I guess for me, it's if like I was talking to Eric on our last podcast about grading. I forget what war turtle I bought in Japan, but it's just some random common war turtle card. And I was like, yeah, I want to grade it. And Eric's like, just buy it graded for like $15. Like, why are you gonna grade it? And I was like, but you don't understand. Like that card, I went and I searched for that
Yeah.
card. It was
Oh
a
yeah.
treasure hunt to me, and I want that card. I want the aura, the experience of that card to be remembered forever on my
Yeah.
wall. Like
Yeah.
that's why what if I would ever grade and it would be the cards that I pulled, not because
Yeah.
they
You want to
not
encapsulate the memory. Yeah.
exactly, like, not because, like, the Charizard from Brilliant Stars that I pulled, like, that was, like, my one of my first opening videos, completely botched the video, it was on my phone. Oh my gosh, so terrible, I took it down. So bad, just it's complete in complete darkness, like, it's so bad, but I pulled that Charizard, right?
Yeah.
And that was, like, my first moment, real, like, Pokemon YouTube moment, and I was like, "I'm never gonna sell this card." I don't care if it's, like, I just had friends come over, look at it, like, "Oh, dude, it may be graded 9." I don't care,
Doesn't
but
matter.
I but
Yeah.
I want but I want to grade it because I want to have it. That's my first.
Protected, encapsulated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my first big altar that I pulled.
Yep.
Like that is like that's I do that. I will be grading, but it's just gonna be in like
Yeah.
that area, like
So that's what I do. I always, when I send stuff off for grading, it's like it always varies, but it's always a percentage that's PC, and it's always a
mhm,
percentage that I'm selling to
yeah,
offset the cost of grading itself, and
yeah,
then obviously throwing that money into more of my collection. But
yeah,
yeah, I always grade a lot of my stuff for PC, like
yeah,
stuff that I want to have. Like for instance, there's a card that reminded me when you were telling that story. I helped a friend grade his cards for the first time, and he bought like a little collection on Craigslist, and it had the Game Boy promo Meowth, the hollow
fire,
one, and
fire,
he gave it to me as a gift, and I'm like, oh, I'm grading this, and it got a PSA 9. And I'm stoked, like,
dang,
and
yeah,
then I was just like, that I'll never sell that. Like that's a
yeah,
piece of my collection forever.
yeah,
Same with that Blastoise, that Plasma Storm Blastoise, that shiny one.
mhm,
That was from someone during the pandemic that I became friends with through that buying that card from them in off on offer up from Florida. He's like
yeah,
a teacher in Florida. His Instagram handle was Scientific Squirtle, and he was
sick,
also like a big Squirtle like Blastoise fan. And he
yeah,
had bought that card for like $40 in like 20, I don't know, 2016 or something like that, 2013, I can't remember.
yeah,
And he kept it for this whole time. We stayed in touch. I ended up buying it from him, kept it raw for a couple of years,
yeah,
and then ended up grading it. And I was like, hey, I'm actually gonna FaceTime call this guy because like I graded the card that we became friends over, and he
yeah,
was stoked. He's like, that's
yeah,
super cool. And like stuff like that, like it makes and it's not necessarily about the value of the card, it's about the
mhm,
memory too. And I
yeah.
totally understand that. But preserving those cards and protecting those is just as important as like the value when it comes to
Yeah.
like grading, obviously.
I think that's the part of like the hobby. Like I don't look at like collectors like you or like other PokeTubers as well. Like I don't look at you like I'm not trying to like look down on you guys being like, oh, you guys are only trying to flip it or whatever. But it's hard to like monetize on YouTube the stories that I'm trying to tell, like what I just told right now with
Sure, yeah.
why and people aren't really interested, so that's where I kind of have like a pull of my heartstrings, and
Yeah, I
um
totally get that.
so
Yep.
I don't know, it's tough. It's something I struggle with all the time. I'm like, yeah, I would love to tell you guys why I'm grading this card, but then I post it and it's like, what, you should have told us that it's an investing video or stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
Like I
it's
think
not
that's
it's not
another thing
sexy is what
though.
I'm trying to say.
It's
It's
yeah,
not.
it's
Yeah.
definitely not sexy, but I feel like the type of people that are like that are drawn to you are going to be more invested in you for you being like your honest self and not trying to like, and that's why I am the way I am on my channel. Sometimes I do some I say some silly shit, or like I like in my McDonald's video, I totally
Yeah.
trolled at the end, like I pulled all of those
Yeah.
PSA
PSA.
McDonald's cards. But like I'm not here to like say like this is how to make money in the hobby
No, I
because
know, no, no, no. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying
yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
and I totally get that. Like you want to be your 100% yourself and how you engage with this hobby virtually as well. Like I
yeah,
that's what drove me to your channel too. So
yeah,
I totally
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Just like how I or both of us kind of feel, where it's like if all this stuff goes to zero, we still love Pokemon in the
I would
day.
love Pokemon at the end of the day. Like my love for Pokemon is like goes beyond just the cards, right? Like
Hmm.
I built friendships through this hobby.
Yeah. Um,
It's
one of my last videos when I was talking about like sets to buy, and I was talking about like battle styles, right? And I was like, I love the booster box artwork, and one of the comments was like, "That's not a good talking point to why you should invest in the set." I'm like, if I'm buying them, I have multiple, a lot of battle styles. How is that not a good investing talking point? If someone like me, it's get the booster box in itself. When did me and you just talked about Chilling Reign Fusion Strike? The boxes look amazing because they're pink and blue, so
yeah.
different than
The
anything.
Fusion Strike ETB, the Pokemon Center one, the blue one with
Yeah,
the pink is fire.
that's what I'm
Like I
saying. Like people like I love how what you're talking about. You're like how you're putting like the context clues between like the promos, the
yeah.
151 promos. Like people don't think like that, dude. Like they look at the most obvious is like top card. Can the top three cards hold
Yeah.
over $100? Cool, investable. But there's guys like us that are the silent, minority, I guess. But we look at the entire package. We see what's
Yeah.
gonna happen in 5 years,
And
and
that's honestly comes from time in the hobby.
facts,
You
facts.
like you if you're in here for money, it's it's not going to end well. I think like if that's the main part of the hobby that you have joy in my opinion. It's just to me it just I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
teach their own. Maybe that's fulfilling enough,
yeah.
but I don't think that mentality can last in this hobby,
No,
especially as a collector. If you're just chasing high end, like the high valuable rare cards, like
yeah,
that just sounds terrible. Like
yeah.
there's so many beautiful art in this hobby that are just a fraction of the price.
Hmm.
And I think you do a good job on your channel, kind of represent that and show
Yeah.
that like, hey, like there's these other languages and it's the same art, just to, you know,
Yeah, I was like I told you, I had dinner with my brother-in-law, and he's like, oh, like they opened a Paldea Evolved ETB. My
oh heck
sister-in-law
yeah.
my sister-in-law just had one, right? Now
Wait, what?
yeah, she'll just like she's like, I've been wanting to open Pokemon cards, so she bought a Paldea Evolved, or she had it, and then they had stacking tins from Costco with
Okay.
evolving skies. Also, they didn't know what they had, dude. They don't open Pokemon cards. They just started like playing Pokemon Pocket. Like this is how new they are. I bought her Let's Go Eevee for her
Oh,
birthday
sick.
like 2 months ago. She loved it. But I was showing them like all my cards and stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, why?" Like explaining to them why the market is hot right now, et cetera, et cetera. And then she's like, "Well, like, are there like cheap alternatives?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can just buy in other languages." And she's like, "Well, why doesn't people just buy this other languages? They're cheap." And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm a art connoisseur first, and I don't really care about but everyone has different collection goals, and that's what
Yeah.
makes the hobby so valuable, and precious.
Yeah. I'm like a 90% English collector, and I think it's like, regardless if I'm reading it or not, it's just, I have to have English copies.
Hmm.
But that, at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of Japanese cards, like, that Bubble Mew, dude, like,
Insane.
it's seriously one of my favorite cards in the entire TCG, and it's a Japanese exclusive. That's
Yeah.
what, when it comes to vintage Japanese, I only really collect the exclusive like stuff like this that
Hmm.
I'm interested in. And then when
Yeah.
it comes to modern, dude, like I pick up some random like I picked up the Terapagos from Stellar Miracle in a
Yeah.
PSA 10 for like
Yeah.
40-50 bucks after
Yeah. I
trade.
remember you sent me that text. Yeah.
Yeah, there's cool artwork. I'm just like it's too cheap not to sometimes. Like um even the Greninja, the one from Twilight in Japanese, like that
Hmm.
card's sick. Like I would
Yeah.
probably pick that up. It's still really relatively cheap for
Yeah.
the English counterpart.
I there's some cards I just need to have the Japanese characters on. Like Greninja is one of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like I don't want the English language on a Greninja. That's
Speaking
just
of the
something
Japanese
for
language,
me.
my friend gifted all of us this morning at Cards and Coffee a it's his brother. He like does these like etched burn like art,
Oh yeah,
and
sick.
dude,
Uh-huh.
he all of us got our own with our favorite Pokemon on it.
No way.
And it's got the
Dang.
kanji right here.
That's sick.
It's so cool. Yeah,
That's so
so like
sick.
but yeah, like sometimes like I love the kanji for Blastoise because it has like this little smirk, like this little smile right here. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
it's just yeah.
It's
I
tough.
totally get it.
It's
Yeah, it looks
tough. Yeah.
sick. It looks
Yeah.
sick. Like Japanese like kanji, just the characters look beautiful.
Same thing with the Umbreon VMAX from EV Heroes. I need that in Japanese. I do not want that. If someone gifted if I got that card in English, it's
You
not
would
saying
trade
it.
it for the Japanese?
It's not saying it in my house. I'm going to the nearest card show. Like, can someone just give me a Japanese copy of this
No,
thing?
you grade it and then you
Yeah, yeah,
sell
yeah.
it.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Then
You
we're
do not
talking.
sell that card raw if it's a
Yeah,
PSA 10 worthy copy. You do
yeah,
not
yeah,
sell
for
that
sure,
card raw.
for
But
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. Like Japanese just looks I like I look at a lot of the like vintage Japanese and there's just something about it just like it really
it's
I
Max,
don't know.
bro. It's Max. Like I again on Pokemon Reddit. There, dude, it's popping up left and right. All these people are being like, "Are you guys seeing the texture differences?"
Oh
And
boy.
I'm like, "Gosh,
Oh
dang
boy.
it,
I'm telling you, dude.
we are
The
here."
shift. Yes, we are here.
Yeah,
Um
this chick, she pulled. Oh my gosh, what did she pull? Oh, the Blood Moon Ursaluna. She
oh,
had it side by side, bro. The
I know.
English one is gray, like
Yeah,
straight
it's
up
yeah.
gray. And I have
Yeah.
I have the one in Japanese. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy, this thing's like red. Like the
The
texture,
Japanese one looks so good.
like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'm always in that thing 24/7. If you ever find me, I'm in there all the time. But I was like, welcome, welcome. You're here, welcome. I mean, you can't fight it. The people are
Yeah.
here, and
Yeah.
the market is gonna market, and it's just, I guess, going to my feelings about all the Japanese hype and stuff. I feel your boy Hassan, like
Hussein? Yeah.
Hossein. Yeah, I I feel him because I really enjoyed cracking open packs and you know enjoying that part of the hobby, and it's fun to, like, on a Friday night. That would be my thing. I would come home. After a long day, I work all day, 12-hour day, and I would look forward to cracking open a booster box. Now I can't do that. Surging
Yeah.
Sparks is like $70, dude.
Oh,
Like, or
the Japanese
Super Electric Breaker. Super Electric
70
Breaker
bucks. Everybody buy buy buy.
is $70,
Yeah.
bro. Like,
Yeah.
I was buying that. I've opened probably like four of those things. I pulled nothing but Slackings. Slacking trolls me. I think that's for Super Electric Breaker. Um, and
Yikes.
now it's a $70. I'm not paying $70 for that booster box, bro. For what? To pull another Slacking?
Yeah.
Like, I'm good, dude. Like, it's at the point where I'm gonna buy singles. I'm forced to buy
Yeah.
singles if I want to
Yeah.
participate. And
Yeah, and to me, it makes the most sense right now. Like, and it's also another way to combat, like buying all this sealed, like prismatic, right? Like, just go for singles. You don't have to
yeah,
have that set right now.
yeah.
Like, give it time.
Have you ever?
Yeah,
Have you heard? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Desi, shout out to Taylor in here. He just was like
What's up?
Giovanni's charisma from 151 up to 45 overnight. You know what? That's a funny thing. It's just like everyone. That's another thing. Like, everyone's trying to make the next big ultimate play. Like, and I'm seeing it because Rocket's coming up, right? You got the Rocket set. Giovanni's a popular trainer, and every Giovanni card right now has gone up in the last week or two. Like,
Yeah,
almost all of them,
yeah,
because people are trying to buy them out on TCG Player,
yeah,
and it's because the Rocket set, and people are already like
dude,
thinking on megas. Like, people are buying out megas already, and
bro.
it's like,
I made a video. Oh my! When did Rocky get announced? Last year, right?
it was at Worlds.
At Worlds. I made a video that next day, or maybe the same day, talking about making sure to go out and get these cards if you don't have them.
Yeah.
That video was sitting at like 300 views, right? It got like 2K in this past week. Why?
Whoa.
Why is it taking off, Jake? because Team Rocket's right around the corner.
Yep.
So people are searching. People are searching
Yeah.
for these cards. People are, and dude, like sometimes I think I am crazy when I say some of my points, but then they come to fruition, and I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't crazy. You know,
Yeah.
like people are like myself, or I go back. I'm like, oh, there's a Jesse and James card. Oh, cool. Where's that from? Oh, cool. All right, cool. I own it now. You know,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be the same thing with all these new people coming in with Team Rocket. They're
Yeah.
missed out, and I think Team Rocket is gonna be really really good for the hobby, dude. Like that's why I'm really bullish on like Gen 10.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Well, even if it's
I
not, dude, we get a cool we haven't had a Team Rocket set in so long. It's not. I mean, even if it's absolutely terrible, it's still not gonna be that bad. It's
yeah.
still not gonna be Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I was
So
actually looking at
Pokemon Go.
no,
Oh.
hell no. Oh gosh, no. Um so we're getting the ends Reshiram, right? And then I was way too slow to this, but I was like, you know what? I should look at the Zekrom from Brilliant Stars,
Mm-hmm.
the trainer gallery one, because it's got N on it.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
flying on Zekrom. That
Yeah.
card went from being $1 to $2 card to like I think it's like $11 or $12 right now. And
Oh
and
my
you look at the
gosh.
chart, it was recent, and it's because of that Ends
Yeah.
Reshiram.
Yeah.
It's just like there's a little bit of like genuine demand because like people that were in the hobby are like, oh, I want that card now that I see
Mhm.
this one. But then there's also people that are like, this card's going to go up because of this
Yeah.
card, and it's like, yeah, it's exhausting.
Are
Man.
you a are you a black and white fan? Did you play black and white?
I played black and white. I played black and white too, but I mean I played both black and white
What?
and black and white. I played white because that had Zekrom on it, right? White had Zekrom.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play.
Right?
I didn't play two.
Wait, I always get those confused. Was it
Yeah.
black with Zekrom or was it white with Zekrom? I can't remember, but I played the one with Zekrom on both.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember. I played those games so long ago.
Hmm.
I mean, black and white is cool to me. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting what they do. Like I do think I didn't I say this that I think that we might get like, you know how we got the gold cards in Crown Zenith, but
Yeah.
we're gonna get like a new white card of
Yeah.
Reshiram or like a black card
You
with
did. You
Zekrom.
did.
I
Yeah.
think we'll get something like that again with like an alt art style
Mhm.
treatment for those Pokemon, and then. I mean, will we see that super rare Victini that's exclusive to, is it Japanese or Chinese? I can't remember. I think it might be Chinese. Desi might know. Desi, do you know that Victini, is it Chinese or Japanese that's
It's
super
Chinese.
rare?
I think it's
Is
Chinese.
it Chinese? I
Yeah.
think it is Chinese.
Chinese is cool
But
stuff, dude.
dude, have you seen that new
This-
Mew, the exclusive one
Dude.
that's going to be like a
Oh,
return to
Thai.
play?
Thai. Oh, it's
Oh,
Thai.
it's Thai. There we go.
Thai. Yeah.
But yeah, have you seen the new Mew?
Dude, amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
15-10 copies. Like
I
we're going
need
back
it.
to that like competition play point style.
Yeah.
That card. I wonder if it comes to English.
Nah.
Well, think about it. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
Japanese play promos like the Umbreon, the Espeon Gold Star. Those were all like you had to play and earn points. Flareon's like one of the most expensive of the original three. I think it goes either Jolteon, Vaporeon, then Flareon because you had to earn more points. But basically, those cards were in our English set. So like Power
Mhm.
Keepers had the original evolutions, and then Pop Series 5 had the non-holo Umbreon and Espeon. I
Yeah.
think we might still get that card just at a later point. But if we
Mm.
don't, that card is going to be very expensive.
Yeah. I hope we
Very
don't get it.
expensive.
I really hope we don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the fifth anniversary Chinese exclusive promo.
Yeah.
I don't think that's coming.
We
to
need
English.
we need exclusives, dude. Like
It really is.
yeah, like I love how Chinese is doing their own thing. Like with all the Pikachu arts for 151, like their new different booster box. I think that booster box looks way better in Chinese. I think it's simplified
Yeah.
Chinese.
Simplified.
I think it looks better in Chinese than it does in English and Japanese. My
And
personal
they're getting
opinion.
exclusive arts too. Like
That's
all
what I'm
those
saying, bro.
Pikachus.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like what?
Some
Like
cool stuff they're doing.
it's
I love it. I love
it's
it.
cool. Like
Yeah, I agree.
like we
I
need
almost bought Chinese boxes and I hesitated and they sold out. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I sent the link to my friends in the
That's
chat,
when that's a top signal, Jake, in Chinese. It's done. We gotta sell, guys. Everyone in the chat,
dude, there are top
Sell.
signals everywhere, man.
sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Like I
Wait.
think
Speaking of top signals, Did
Uh-huh.
you hear the Jason Page Sunbreon song?
No.
Dude. Oh
I hate I I
no.
hate I hate I hate that guy. He's the worst.
You were in
He's the
for
worst.
an ear bleed. That is the most
Oh
top
my
signal I've
god.
ever seen in this hobby.
He's the worst. That guy. That guy. That guy should be banned from card shows, bro. He just harassing people,
Oh
going
man.
around harassing people.
Trying to sell his autographs. It's
Oh my
crazy.
god.
Yeah.
But what were we just talking about? Oh
Carry
yeah,
on, man.
Chinese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chinese, yeah.
I just love uh how diverse this hobby is, and how it could even be even bigger than what we think it is. Like as
Yeah.
much as people are so focused on English, I'm like trying to push, and it sucks, dude. I was just telling my brother-in-law, I was like, it sucks that I'm like putting all this effort into these videos and they get no views and they get negative
Dude,
comments
no, nope.
and
Keep it
negative.
pushing, bro.
And
Keep it
bro,
pushing.
the thumbs down are tough.
No, keep it pushing.
And I'm just like, dude,
Dude,
like you guys can all still be in this hobby. All
dude.
I hear is you guys saying that there's no Pokemon cards to buy, that you'll never own X Charizard, right? Or
Yeah,
X
yeah,
Blastoise, whatever. But you can still own it. It's the
yeah.
same thing. Like you guys have to switch your collection goals. You have to be like, you got to move and groove in this hobby if you still want to, and then on, on the flip side of that, it's like, just don't buy anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you can completely sit on the sidelines and just
Yeah.
be okay with just watching this all
And
rise
spectating the
or all
hobby, yeah,
crash. Yeah,
yeah.
spectating the
And
hobby.
there's
It's
plenty.
tough. It's tough,
It's
bro. It's
tough.
tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I hear you. I do think that you're in a place where right now it may feel like you're on an island, but I
Mm,
think that I'm seeing it. Like I'm seeing it in the Chinese market. I see that what they're doing there,
yeah.
and how they're really trying to push it. And I think that there's going to be a growing demand in the English market, in the Japanese market for that space in Chinese, like
Yeah.
Korean,
Yeah.
specifically Chinese. Like I'm
Yeah.
seeing what they're doing right now, and like this is cool. Like
Yeah.
this is very cool.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that with time, like your niche in that will, I don't know, it will show itself in time, I think,
Yeah.
in a good way. So I commend you for it, and
Yeah.
I like watching you make those videos, and I'm like, oh, that's like a $2 or $3 card in
Yeah.
Korean. I'm like, what is going
Crazy.
on?
Yeah.
Um,
I just bought a Lugia GX for like $2, the one I
yeah,
had in the video.
that Lugia is fire. That
Oh,
Lugia is
what set
fire.
is that from?
Oh, honestly, I don't know. I'm bad with, but I'm pretty sure
It's
that's,
it's Sun and Moon.
yeah, it's Sun and Moon. I
Is this
really don't know.
is it I think it's Sun and Moon
I
7, whatever the seventh set
Lost
was.
Thunder. It
Is
could
it
be
Lost
Lost
Thunder?
Thunder because that's a Lugia heavy set. It could be.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that artwork's
Absolutely.
cool.
Dude, so good, bro. Do you think did you hear did you hear the question I said asked in that video? I was like, do you think that we're gonna see EX cards or like V cards ever be somewhat valuable in the future? Do you think
It's
do you
tricky. I think it's very art specific. So like, um, that
true.
Lugia,
Yeah.
yeah, like I think it's really gonna be art specific in Pokemon. So one play I made that it could do better if all three of the ones I sent to PSA grade 10s, I basically made a little money selling the rest raw, but it was the Lugia V from.
From Crown Zenith collection box?
N-
Oh.
no, it's the I think it's Silver Tempest, but then they made it in the prize pack version, but it's the Arita one where he's
Oh.
underwater.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
I don't have any copies, but I bought a bunch of those prize, and I bought
Yeah.
them for like $6 or $7 on TCG Player.
Mhm.
I bought like 20 of them. Only 3 of them were like gradable, and then
Mm,
I just sat on them and sold the rest for $13 a piece. So I made some money, but not much.
yeah.
And then I'm hoping if they grade 10s, because they sell for like 200 plus, I think, in
Yeah.
a PSA 10.
I wonder
Um,
what those the collection box promo from Crown Zenith, the GameStop exclusive. I believe that one has a stamp. It was a Chinese exclusive, and then I didn't know I even had it.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was a
Yeah,
was it the
GameStop.
class? No, it was the classic collection one, right?
No.
It was
It was
GameStop.
GameStop. It was GameStop.
I
Yeah.
know which one. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where he's like this.
Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly.
That artwork is
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. I
I think
wonder.
see there are V's like that that I think will do well. Like even
Love that card.
The Ho-Oh V, like
Yeah.
if that had texture, it could have been an alt art. Like that Ho-Oh V is fire.
Yeah.
Like but I agree there are cards like you look at the tag team non-textured ones like the Venusaur Celebi that you have.
Yep.
Like that's to me almost close to like what an alt art is.
Yeah.
It might as well be.
It might
Like
as well
I think
be.
you look at the
Yeah.
Mimikyu and Gengar, the alt art version in Team Up versus the one that's non-textured.
Yeah.
I think the non-textured one is a way better artwork.
Yeah. I have that one.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
I have it in. I bought it in Korean for like $3, another under
yeah,
$5 card, and I bought it in Chinese for like $2.
the Gengar Mimikyu one.
Yep.
It's that
Hmm.
cheap.
It's
Yeah,
that
see,
cheap. Yep.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because I do like when I like the beauty of the internet. When I one of my first podcasts, like my boy, his name is JTR. I talk about him all the time. His name is Jordan. He's a teacher in Taiwan, and he also teaches in
oh yeah,
China.
yeah. He's
Yeah, that
gifted you a
dude.
few cards here and there, right?
Bro, like he puts me on
That's
so
awesome.
much, and he's the one that just opened my eyes to how cheap. Like again, like I didn't get to open a lot of these tag team sets, and now that I can just go back and just relive all that stuff, and it's
Yeah,
amazing. I'm like, I didn't even know that it was possible, because I believe, oh my gosh, I don't want to botch it, but I think it's either traditional or simplified. That's in the Sun and Moon era right now. They're still in the Sun and Moon. They're
yeah. They're trying
just
to catch
about to,
up. They're catching up as
yeah,
fast
they're
as they can.
just about to get into Sword and Shield, or they're
Yep.
halfway, something like that. But um, yeah, awesome collection boxes, like the Espeon box looks amazing. Like there's just so many amazing products over there that are still affordable. We want to talk about affordability. I mean, some of those boxes are like $140, and it comes with an altar. Like they
Yes,
all
dude.
come with an altar, dude. Like even if you keep that thing sealed, like I don't see how that's not an easy play.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Stuff like that.
the
I
U
mean, I could be,
no. It's just like when UPCs in 151 were 60 $70 on TikTok or
yeah,
Costco for $80. Like that was a play that
yeah,
people just walked past. Like you didn't
yeah,
have this blooming water situation that we have now.
yeah,
Like people didn't want it then, and
yeah,
now it's hot, and now
yeah.
it's a cycle. I've seen it more than once since 2020, and yeah, I think that there's like the Chinese market is growing in a way that I think can do some really cool things, and that Mew is a testament to that.
It's
Like
gonna do
that,
damage, bro. It's gonna do
yeah,
damage, and
it's
you
gonna
get
be an
it.
expensive card.
I wonder what's the population of. But the thing that I learned from Jordan is that so traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese, I told you that both markets do not
Yeah,
mess
not
with each
yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah,
And someone in the comments that's more up to pace with this topic, or if any of you guys know, but yeah, they just do not want to touch each other with a 10-foot
yeah.
pole. Like
Hey,
if you
Sophia,
collect, if you,
real farmer.
yeah, if they collect traditional, they won't even look at simplified
Yeah.
because
Okay. Yeah.
it's the cultural differences of
Sure.
he explained it to me in a much smarter way, but I was like, okay, so
I
I'm
think
trying to
one
grasp
basically
all
says
of
that
it.
one looks like the actual characters look ugly or something like that. Like it's like a disrespectful way of like
Exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly, yeah. And there's all that stuff,
There's
and
more to it. Yeah.
there's more to it, but whatever. I mean, it seems like both parties are doing great. They both
Yeah.
have their and and there is some price differences here and there, but it's not major. It's not
Okay.
anything. But OG Weedle Farmer says I'm bullish on simplified Chinese. Yeah, dude. It's like it's I don't know if some of these went out on Rob Burns' last big stream, the one with like 6 people with like opossum bud. They're like, we see a lot of PokeTubers pushing for Chinese, and I was like, huh. I've been trying to find people talking about simplified and traditional Chinese in the English PokeTuber
I
space,
mean,
but
who
I
I
can't
can't think of
find
it.
any. I can't find
It's
any. I search for it every day.
it's gonna be a it's gonna be a bandwagon thing once things. I'm telling you right now. You might be a frontier here, Henry.
I hope, dude. I
I
could be
mean,
the possum bud of simplified Chinese.
I'm just yeah. I think that Mew is gonna have a lot of conversations once it's released
Hmm.
to the public and like seeing how it performs, and there's gonna be a growing interest there. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's many people talking about Chinese in the content creation space. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and then I got a comment like right before we started this live. Some dude he met up with some one of the commenters, but he met up with a dude. He got the simplified Chinese Moonbyron for 300 bucks. 300 bucks.
Wow.
Right? So he's like, dude, I watched your video. You put me on the Chinese cards. I picked the Moonbyron. He's like, it is amazing. I see no difference from this card to the English version. Like, shout out to
It's
you. I was
probably a
like,
better texture too.
bro, I'm like, bro, I would imagine so. You know,
Yeah, I haven't seen the Chinese in person.
I would think that they do a better job over there than they do in the United States. I mean, I don't, so, but it's gonna get interesting, dude, with all of these languages, and then now with I believe Pokemon Japan is trying to buy the Korean rights or whatever to print, so they'll print
Oh,
for
really? Because
Korean.
I know,
Yeah,
well, I
that's
know
a
Japan
Jordan.
prints for China, right? Like, I'm pretty sure. I don't think.
They print for themselves. Yeah, and
Do
then
they really? I thought
yeah,
Japan.
that's what Jordan told me.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know. I
yeah.
mean, I probably completely wrong there.
Yeah, yeah, that's just what he told me. So I wish he was here, dude. Like I've been begging this dude to get on. I was like, bro, I need you on to like put my audience like, because then he'll like
Oh yeah, see, Weedle Farmer just said, I know simplified Chinese come out of the same Japanese factory. Oh,
simplified
really?
Chinese, simplified
Oh,
Chinese.
simplified. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Traditional and Thai are the same
Oh, okay.
printing, and one other
Korean and
I
Korean does
believe.
their own.
Korean. Right now they do. Right now they
Okay.
do. Yeah, that's why the boxes are totally different. There's no. Some of them come with shrink wrap. Some of them don't. It's a whole mess over
Oh,
there.
what the heck?
Yeah, it's a whole mess over there in for Pokemon Korea. But yeah, that's what Jordan was telling me. He's like, dude, they're trying to
Huh.
buy the thing. I was like, oh, cool. That would be cool that they're all under one roof and then we get the same um consistency with the quality. One thing this is gonna kill you as a collector, but some of the cards, a lot of the cards, they come like stuck.
Wait, Korean
Yeah,
or
Korean. They'll be like,
oh, they're like peeling like Topps cards when like Topps cards are so old they stick. Ugh,
yeah, that's the
that
Sword and Shield.
sucks.
It's the Sword and Shield. A lot of the Sword and
Oh.
Shield cards, I would be like, why does it look like a one big chip? And then it's like, boop,
Oh
boop,
no.
boop. And
Oh no.
I was like, oh, okay, this is
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
So
I don't know, man. If
that's
English
one.
got to that point, I'd be
Oh yeah,
that'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
terrible.
So that's the news that Pokemon Japan is gonna overtake Pokemon Korea and do it all into one thing. And I think that's gonna be
Yeah.
really bullish for them to be all under the same thing.
Nice.
But what I think what needs to happen is all the other languages, if that's Spanish, all the rest of them, see what Chinese Pokemon cards are doing with making these exclusive arts.
Yeah.
That's how you pump your stock up. That's how you get more eyes over there. But you know me, I'm just an art guy. I just want the cheapest art. And if it is what it is, I just
I'm
want
an
the
art
cards.
guy, but it's got to be in plastic.
I mean, dude,
Man.
here we go. Look,
It's
you
got
want
to be in plastic.
this is like perfect example. So, this card right here,
Oh yeah, the Mewtwo
this
Mew.
little bad boy, the World Championships on the back.
Yep.
This thing is destroyed. Actually, it's like it has a giant fold crease, like just real bad. Still pick this bad boy up. I would grade this and probably come back at like a 3.
It would be below a 6. I'll give you that.
Probably,
No,
but
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it means a lot to me. It was one of my
Yeah.
first pickups back into the hobby. I didn't even know anything about tag team cards. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. It has Mew and Mewtwo," and this
I think
little
that's Unified Minds and
it
from
is
the set,
Unified
yeah.
Mind. Yeah, it is Unified Minds. One of the most underrated sets of the era. But yeah. Any predictions about this? About the rest of the market while we wrap up. We're almost at the 2 hour mark.
I mean, I can keep going. I don't know if you got to be somewhere, but I'm
No, I'm
chilling.
chilling. We can go till to the 2 hour mark. We got
Whenever.
12,
Okay,
12 more
cool.
minutes. Yeah.
Um,
Give each other 6
yeah.
minutes on the board.
Predictions of this year, I think it's gonna stay bullish. Like
Do you have any wild takes?
wild takes.
We know this thing is not gonna slow down anytime soon. There's no, if this was a car, they cut the brakes, dude. This is a scat pack with no brakes right now.
I will say I don't know if this is a hot take. I think that the Prismatic Evolutions Pokemon Center ETB cases, like the case of 4, is extremely undervalued right now.
Dang, that
Extremely undervalued.
that's a
It
hot
should
take.
be it should be double right now. It should be double.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I would. My hot take is that Pokemon is gonna actually do what they say they're gonna do, and they're gonna print these next couple of booster boxes into the ground, and people are gonna be pissed. The investors are gonna be pissed. Scalpers are going to be pissed, and I'm going to be here to say that I was right, because
I'll,
you want to poke the bear with Pokemon, you're gonna get the bear, and that's what I'm
yep.
saying. I with Brian for poking NE, I completely agreed with that video where he's talking about them
Yeah,
printing
with
it into the ground.
if it's not Journey Together, it's an upcoming set. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure.
Do you think they could print Team Rocket like out of out of favor? Like, do you think that they can just print that thing so much that, I mean, kind of how what you said with the Mew and
I think
Mewtwo promo, right? Like how
here's my yeah.
everyone's like, ah, it's cheap. Team Rocket's cheap. I can get it for you know
Yeah.
$100, and then people go, oh, I don't want Team Rocket.
Yeah,
Could we
so
see something like that? You think?
um
Or
I don't so my assumption, like my guess here is that or Journey Together is going to be the ramping up
mhm,
for what's to come.
yeah,
Whether that's the black and white set, which we get in July,
mhm.
Black Bolt and White Flash or whatever it is,
White flare,
White
yeah,
Flare,
hmm
which I'm excited as hell for. Apparently, there's 2 ETBs and apparently like 2 different booster bundles or something like
fire.
that. Um, I think that Journey Together will be a start to something. There'll be a signal there. I'm really excited for that release because I'm curious. I'm also really excited for the release of Prismatic Evolution's booster bundles in March
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's the easiest product to print in mass quantity.
Yeah,
If you think about it, it's the most compact English product. Is probably the most eco-friendly of all products in this hobby at this moment in time. I wish that they did more like that, like half booster boxes. Like if you could do like I
that'd be
don't know,
sick.
yeah,
16, yeah, that'd be
yeah,
cool.
18 packs, yeah, something
18,
like that.
16, yeah.
Um, Something like that. But like I think that that point is when we'll get a shit ton of ETBs and more booster bundles.
Hmm.
Um, which will saturate the market. I think with that release is when we'll probably see a restock of the Pokemon Center ETBs for those and limits of 2. Obviously, they're not changing that back to 4. Like Weedle says, if we can't get PC cases anymore in the future, those remaining cases are going to skyrocket. I totally agree. I think I think I think booster box cases is as a very silly as a collector, but as an investor, it makes a lot of sense. Especially now that they changed that. I don't know if they'll ever go back to a limit of 4. I think they might when the market cools off heavily,
Yeah.
in a very very bear market.
Hmm.
But for the time being, they're keeping that limit to 2 for probably the rest of Scarlet and Violet. I don't
Yeah.
think that there will have more of these ETB cases. Um, with Black and White, I think it's going to be very. I'm very excited for that, and I'm not like the
Same.
biggest Black and White fan, but
Yeah.
I think that what they're gonna do with that is gonna be really cool, and that we're taking like this because if you look at Journey Together, which Desi actually mentioned and made me realize that there's no Terra Pokemon.
Oh, there's not.
Yeah,
You're right.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh damn, and we could probably talk about Journey Together for a second because our
Yeah. Go for it.
battle
Yeah.
partners, no
Yeah.
battle
Battle Partners.
partners,
Yeah.
like dude, that Clefairy is sick.
Best
The
card.
Lily's Clefairy, that
Best
card is
card.
beautiful.
It
The
looks like an Etsy card, bro.
it looks
Like
so good. It looks so
Skullfire.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Enzoroark I also really liked. Um, and then there's a Brock full art. Like what did I say? We're gonna if they're not in this set, they're gonna be in a future set where we get
I
Brock's Steelix or like Brock's Onyx,
bro,
Brock's Geodude.
I literally think it's the best. It's gonna be the best set of the
I'm
Scarlet and Violet
telling you,
era. Like,
they're
I'm like,
hinting.
that's it. That's the best set for me. Like,
I think we'll get more partner Pokemon sets. Not
hmm
necessarily because like this is like an introduction to that because like I think this is like there's like a playable aspect to these cards that
yeah,
they're not just going to be in one set. They're going to continue it for a few sets.
yeah,
They might do it in the black and white set. There might be partner Pokemon with black and white like you already kind of they're already hinting at it with the ends Reshiram and like will probably have more in that black and white set for trainers and their Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and maybe even in the Mega set, it might
Did you
have
see? Did you
Mega.
see like the Cynthia leak, card leak, supposed card leak? I
At this point, I don't know what's real and what's fake with all this stuff now,
Yeah,
so
it was
I haven't
like
seen it.
it was like a real crappy picture, like to the side. And it was a Cynthia full art, and supposedly it was a leak. It looked
Was it
pretty.
Garchomp?
Yeah, it was a Cynthia Garchomp card, but it was real. I think I sent it to you.
It's always taken on a potato phone.
Yeah.
It's
You
always taken on a
took this
potato
on a
phone.
toaster? Yeah,
On
it
a
was. It
Metro,
was.
yeah,
Yeah, but I do like about Battle Partners is that the full arts are back. Like
yeah.
full arts.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So my biggest gripe with Pokemon opening Pokemon cards in Japanese is that when you get a full art, if you're not a full art collector, you're kind of bummed. You're like, oh, slacking. You know, like, oh, it's cool. It's a Charizard, but it's just a red background. Adding those like things,
trainers in
the
the background.
trainers to the background,
Yeah,
or even the Pokemon itself again as like a
yeah,
shadow in the
yep.
thing. It reminds me of like I always bring up or compare these to One Piece, but it's like a One Piece card. One Piece has so much depth to their like
Mm.
full art trainers, I
Yeah, I see what
guess.
you're saying.
It's just depth on depth, and I'm like, dude, this is what Pokemon
Yeah,
needs. And it's so funny
my
that I'm like so hyped on something so small, but
no,
it's
it's I get it. At first, my initial response to it was like, I don't know how to feel about it, and I was
yeah,
like, and then I really looked at it. I'm like, oh wait, this is actually really cool. Like they
so
haven't done
fire.
anything like this before.
No, they haven't.
Um, and it's exciting to see the evolution of like Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge into what we have with Journey Together. It's
Yeah,
exciting,
it's
and like
super exciting.
it gets me more excited for Rocket. Like,
Yeah,
what are they going to do? Yeah, I want
yeah.
to see some mean Pokemon. That's what I need
Facts,
to see.
facts. I agree.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you, bro. We come from the era of like we come to
dude,
like
like
attitude
give me
era,
a
you know?
Rockets T-Tar, bro. We
Yeah,
need a Rockets T-Tar.
yeah. Like I need I as kid friendly and colorful and playful as the Scarlet and
Yeah.
Violet era has been, I do need some like menacing dark Pokemon. You know what I mean? I think it's coming, and yeah, I think they hear us. So
I think they
I'm
hinted at
excited.
it with the Mewtwo at Worlds with that Rockets Mewtwo. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
you saw that where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think they're hinting at some more like dark esque like aggro. Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
this this is the
I'm here
stock,
for
bro.
it.
This is the stock. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop. It never dips.
I
No one
know, and
no one
this is like
sells.
the like it is literally the ultimate like yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like domino after domino with
yeah.
like how hype we are right
I
now.
don't. I just don't know if we can ever be this bullish. Like, can't
Never
like.
say never, man. Like,
Wait, well, I mean, what are you gonna
I
throw a freaking whole Johto booster box set or
hey, if that happens, I'm screwed.
But
I'm so
but
screwed.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't see this. Like, I mean, they're like, this is like prime Mike Tyson just laying hammers on us, bro. And we're like,
I know.
I
Yeah,
had,
we're already down. We're
yeah,
already
yeah, yeah. My pants are
yeah.
off. Freaking
Yeah.
everyone's left the arena. The guy's just still
They're
going at me,
still
bro.
yeah.
Like, it's just
Yeah.
like it's just so messed up that at the very end we get Team Rocket at the end of a bull run, dog. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad. It's bad. So if you guys think, everyone in the comments in the chat right now, if you guys think that the Sunbreon is expensive now, just wait till we see those Team
Yeah.
Rocket cards.
Yeah.
Imagine they nuke the pull rates like they did in Prismatic,
Oh
bro.
gosh, don't tell me that.
We're
Don't tell me that.
done. We're done. This
I'm really
hobby's
excited.
done.
You know what I'm most excited about Rocket
Hmm.
is the product design. I
Facts.
really am really excited to see like the packaging. Like that's why I have this in acrylic. Like I just love sealed stuff like this. This looks
Yeah.
beautiful to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I if we get like a Rocket like man, like a Rocket's Mewtwo on here or something like that with a big red R black box.
That's what I could see. I could
I'm
see it just
telling you,
it
man.
just being like just one big R, just super
Yeah,
clean, you know.
yeah.
Maybe like
Or
a
like
reflect.
Mewtwo silhouette, like it was like
That's what I was about to say. I
and
could
it's
see
gonna
like
be
a
asleep. Oh, bro, I already
yeah,
see it. It's gonna have
ex-
like the ETB's gonna have the
exactly.
sleeve. You're gonna see the
Yep,
Mewtwo behind it.
yep,
Oh,
yeah. Or like I was thinking like the R, but then like the reflection of like
oh,
Giovanni
Like an
and Mewtwo.
emboss Mewtwo.
So
Yeah.
fire,
Oh, it's gonna
so
be sick.
fire.
I
But
can't wait.
it's just like I said, it's all bad timing. It's good,
It's
but bad
yeah,
timing.
it's good. It's exciting.
Yeah,
Um, as a collector, it bums me out a bit because it just makes it that much harder to
yeah,
get stuff. But I mean, patience has always paid off, and
yeah.
I think that's what everyone should take away from this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you guys can learn anything from what we've talked about today, it's just patience is a virtue. I've preached this
Yeah.
all year. And yeah, it sucks to sit here on the sideline at times, seeing the entire market just, have fun but maybe just turn your phone off for a few days, if
Yeah.
it's
No,
really getting to you
seriously.
because I
It's in our faces everywhere. Social
yeah,
media, YouTube.
yeah, it's
Like,
just like statistically, it's not affordable for most people, right?
yeah,
What is the average American makes $43,000 a year,
something like that.
something like that. And if you have a family, a mortgage, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not buying sealed cases of booster boxes. So don't
Yeah.
don't let don't let like don't let these poketubers like make you or just social media creators just make
Influence
you.
FOMO buy you into
Yeah,
all
bro.
of
Like
this.
that's the thing. Like I got into one of the guys on one of my investing videos. He's like, "Oh, you can't say you're an investor. You only have 2 booster boxes." I'm like, that is literally the dumbest thing you could say. That's like owning 2 shares of Apple stock and saying like you're not an investor. It's like I have money in this
Into
stock
it. Yeah. I think
and
I
I
think
bought low, or it's not
yeah.
worth.
Yeah, and I think as collectors, we are subconsciously investors in this stuff. I think that's
Yeah,
just like I hate the divide. Like that's what drives me crazy.
for
Like
sure.
as a collector, there's like this sense of like, oh, if you're a true collector, you never like sell your cards, you never like flip your cards.
Yeah,
As a collector, you're doing everything.
yeah,
You're literally doing everything.
yeah.
You're investing subconsciously, like whether you are intentional about it or not. Because
But
as a
it
collectible, things grow. You want to see collections grow in value, right? Like,
yeah.
but at the same time, that's not the main focus of why you're collecting. You enjoy the
Hmm.
Pokemon cards, whatnot. But then like you're also selling, you're flipping,
Yeah,
sealed, singles, graded, all of that. And it all plays into itself. And like there's like an ecosystem that all of this has to, like the TCG players, the investors, the flippers, the collectors, like they all have to work together and to some degree to keep this hobby thriving.
for sure.
And there's like if it can't just be one or the other.
Yep.
It doesn't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
I mean, and we can even say that most of that stuff is trading. It's a Pokemon trading
Yeah,
card
yeah,
game. We're all trading,
yeah.
and that's get kind of our topic or discussion earlier about the building your collection through buying a couple of cheap singles to then flip. That's a way of that you're trading to make your collection better. And to each their own. But
Yep.
yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, Jake. Very interesting
I'm very excited.
next
I
year.
honestly am.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched our last podcast, me and Eric, but seeing Eric's reaction to the market of him like being pissed and sassy says like a
It says
thousand
a lot.
words.
Yeah, no,
Be-
100%.
because
He's not
if you
alone.
no, because if you got like his attention to the market, he's just like it's disgusting how what 50% of this hobby is right now. And
Yeah.
he's waiting for the cool off because he had so much fun in like the lull period. Because I think I hate to say like true collectors, but the ones that are here, for the right
Yeah.
reasons,
Yeah.
they were here through,
The
the
lows.
bad
Yeah.
the bad sets.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
And it
like all these
hurts.
greedy people come in and like take
Yeah,
advantage of the situation, and
yeah,
it leaves the people that are actually going to stay throughout this hobby for a long period of time
yeah,
feeling like they're left out, and it's
hmm,
because of greed and obsession. And yeah,
yeah.
it's a weird time, but
Yep.
power through it. We'll all get through it.
We'll get the
Stick
Team
around.
Rocket. We'll get the Team Rocket if we like it or not. It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. I
But
think it would be really interesting to see a collector come into this hobby and say, you know what? I'm not buying anything for this entire year, and I'm going to observe, spectate, and research, and see how things perform. And I'll come back in a year. If things come down, I'll consider coming in, and then like seeing like how they like a collector evolves through all of this is like kind of interesting to me because
yeah,
at different points people are coming into this hobby, whether it's the highs or lows, and like their experiences, everyone's experience in this hobby is so different, like so
Yeah.
different. And
Yeah.
some pick up everything really quickly, and some take a long time to figure out how to navigate this. And like
Yeah.
it's interesting to think about. I'd love to dissect that somehow
Yeah,
and
like
see how.
when I first got back into the hobby, and I would, dude, I just started binging so much Pokemon content, and I was like, oh, you could pretty. This is not like, it's not real technical stuff as far as like charts, the way they move, the cycles on stuff. I'm like, you could pretty much figure out Pokemon, how it's moved in the past like 5, 6, up to the pandemic. You could pretty much figure that stuff out pretty fast with YouTube. Like,
Yeah,
so I came in and I was like, oh, this is how it works. This is, and I mean, I kind of saw a little bit of that with during the pandemic. So it's not really too, I mean, if I could survive the pandemic as far as like the collection craze, I think I could survive, this one, and not have FOMO and not overspend, and just know that this is all going to pass and it's all going to be okay at the end of the day.
a hundred
So,
percent,
but
100%.
but yeah. All right, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here. We went over 205.
Let's
Right on
go.
the but thanks everybody for checking us out and hearing us ramble about fictional cute characters and shiny cardboard. But any last words, Jake?
Happy collecting, y'all. Stay
Happy
strong. Enjoy the hobby in different ways where you can. Buy plushies; they're still affordable.
Yeah.
Um, and
Pan
yeah,
This one's going to
I
the moon. Do I keep it sealed or
go to McDonald's. They still have packs. I had a better experience with that than opening Prismatic, which I didn't open. I actually pulled a Pikachu. Yeah, I pulled this little guy from one
oh
pack.
oh sick.
Yeah.
What's in there? It's Pikachu, Charizard, Dragonite.
There's an Umbreon, of course. Like McDonald's is pushing Umbreon, bro. Like, um,
Of course.
yeah,
Of
yeah.
freaking
This
course.
was a good one. Thanks for having me on
Yeah.
again, Henry.
Yep.
And
Nah.
thanks for everyone that joined the chat for a little while.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys. All right, guys. Have a good night. I know it's kind of late, but it's Saturday.
Peace, y'all.
All right. Peace. And bam.